Day. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of InterMiami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for InterMiami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. Download the Radio.net app and listen to Onside Radio in every InterMiami CF game. OnsideRadio.com, your home for InterMiami soccer.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or InterMiami Marketing, LLC. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yes! Oh, it is. It is a Thursday episode of Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. I'm Alex Donno, taking you guys up until 6 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a busy evening for me. We take you up until 6 o'clock. Then Steven Daniels is going to take over, hosting our newest show here on the Onside Radio family, 6 to 7 o'clock every single weeknight. Miami sports music for the fans. And, man, Steve and crew, he always brings on great fans from all over the world. They do an awesome job holding it down for the fans. He is passionate as hell about his Miami Dolphins and passionate about the entire South Florida sports scene. So make sure you're supporting our newest show, Miami Sports Music for the Fans, every single weeknight from 6 to 7 o'clock. Tonight is Thursday, my friends. You know what that means? Combat Sports Special, like we do every Thursday. I'm going to be back on the air 7 to 9 o'clock here with James Walker, my co-host, the same James Walker who used to cover the Miami Dolphins for ESPN. You may not have known, this guy is passionate about mixed martial arts and boxing. And every single Thursday night, we host Fight Night. We're going to have on tonight on Fight Night Kevin Aioli from Yahoo Sports. We're going to have one of the fighters from the awesome BYB Extreme event this past week in Miami. We're going to hear from Valerie Loretta from Bellator. She's got a big fight tomorrow night. So Fight Night's going to be fantastic. Man of the Match is going to be a lot of fun. In the 4 o'clock hour today, we will talk some Miami Dolphins. We'll talk some NFL. We might even talk some Tebow with our guy Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. And coming up in about 17 minutes, we are going to talk some Miami Heat basketball and a little NBA playoffs with Ira Winterman from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. He's going to join us at 3:20. We got our guy, Alex Aguirre, riding shotgun today. Good afternoon, Alex. I hope everything's well with you, sir. How are you?
It's all good over here, Donno. All good. Just hopefully the Panthers come back, man. And I'm excited for the NBA playoffs. It was kind of interesting, obviously. Yesterday's game with the Lakers and Warriors, and I know you're going to get into that later.
Yeah, we will.
About that LeBron James heave. Yes, it's a heave. I'm going to call it that. But, yeah, overall, it's all good over here, Donno.
And we're going to get into that in a second. I want to send best wishes to Big O, Orlando Alzagari. He went under the knife this morning, or early this afternoon, maybe it might have been. And again, like he'll be the first to tell you, it wasn't like one of those really, really difficult, long surgeries. He was getting a polyp removed from his throat, which is a pretty quick in and out, snip, snip type of thing. But, bro, I've only been under the knife, I want to say, actually, believe it or not, The only surgery I've ever gotten in my life was getting my wisdom teeth removed, which is like barely a surgery. Like I've never like been cut open, like, the actual, like the trunk of my body. I've never had my torso cut open, never had my neck cut open, knock on wood that's never going to happen. I think the only time I've ever gotten what you would consider to be an operation was getting my wisdom teeth taken out. And listen, I think that the procedure Big O had today is even quicker than the wisdom teeth thing. But still, man, God bless. And O, if you're listening, I hope the recovery is going well. Maybe you're taking a nice nap right now. You have earned it, my friend. And our prayers and thoughts are with you. Not that you need them, because again, this is not like he had like quintuple bypass or something. Like he had a polyp removed from his throat. He's undergone more serious surgeries than this in his life, but our prayers are with you, my friend, and we're rooting for you. So if you guys get a chance, I know chances are anybody listening to this right now is probably already following Big O on Twitter, because everybody follows Big O on Twitter. He's prolific on social media. If you're listening to this right now and you're on social media, Twitter, maybe you're a friend of his on Facebook, wish him well, right? Go on Twitter, tag Big O Show, and tell him you're rooting for him, speedy recovery. Because I know that probably the hardest thing about this recovery that he's going to go through, he's going to be, I think, about a week from now or maybe a week from tomorrow, he's going to be ready to get back on the air and start doing shows again. But until that time, this is not going to be easy for O. It wouldn't be easy for me, but I have a feeling it's going to be even tougher for O. He's not allowed to speak for about the next 7 days. Doctor's orders. That's part of the recovery. He's not allowed to speak. Bro, I don't know. That would be difficult for most people, but for someone who is as verbose as Orlando Alzigari, having to go a week without speaking, like he'll be able to, like, I don't know how he's going to communicate with his wife. Is he going to like write things on like a little dry erase board or something? Is he just going to send her like a text message or a WhatsApp anytime he has something to say? He's a passionate guy, so when he'll be watching games on TV, and instead of yelling at the screen, like if Sergei Bobrovsky lets in an easy goal, although we'll get to that in a second. I don't know if we'll even see Bobrovsky again in this series, but if the Panthers let in a goal and he wants to yell at the TV, he's not allowed to. Like he's not actually allowed to do that, man. So that's going to be tough, like for the next week. I've never been through something like that. I can remember when I was growing up, I was a kid, probably like middle school age, early high school age. My father had a surgery where he had a detached retina in his eye. Obviously, I'm just, maybe some of you out there are so bad at anatomy you don't know where the retina is. He had to get a detached retina reattached, and part of the recovery from that surgery was you're supposed to like lay like basically on your stomach for like 20 hours a day, because there's like a little gas bubble in the eye, and if you're standing up and sitting up, then the gas bubble will like go to the wrong side of your eye, and it's going to screw up your recovery. And of course, my father just was not disciplined enough to like lay on his stomach for 20 hours a day, so he was like walking around, he's like cooking, he's making sandwiches, and it like he recovered fine eventually, but it stunted his recovery because he was not disciplined enough to lay on his stomach for like 20 out of 24 hours in a day. So hopefully O has the discipline to follow doctor's orders and not yell and scream at the TV screen and have passionate arguments and discussions with people like he normally does. So yeah, man. And yeah, we appreciate everybody in the chat line wishing him well. The YouTube is up and running, by the way. Our guy Brooklyn Rob just said, good afternoon, Alex, and get well soon, Big O, and go Panthers. So you can always, maybe you guys are listening to this right now on OnsideRadio.com. By the way, I got a text from the man himself, so I want to share this. I want to share this, man. So O says, and there's a lot of good news here. He says, thanks, dude. I'm driving home to rest. Appreciate you. It will be a mission to stay quiet. That would be a real tough one for me. Ooh. You know what's going to be trippy about that? If you go an entire week without speaking, what's it like when you can speak again for the first time in 7 days? Do you want to make sure the first thing you say is really profound? Like, I'd probably spend the entire week, like, going through Albert Einstein quotes and, like, Mark Twain quotes and Abe Lincoln and, like, trying to find something really profound to say. And then the first time you speak in a week, is it hard to get it out? Because you always see, like, you see movies where, like, somebody's trapped in a cave for, a long period of time and or, like, you're kind of by yourself and you're not speaking to anybody. And then the first time you speak again, it's like your mouth is moving, nothing's coming out. So that's got to be weird. First time talking in a week. But, yeah, it's awesome to hear that O is on his way home from the procedure. And, he's going to have an awesome, speedy recovery. Speaking of the Florida Panthers, a couple people brought him up in the chat line. They got their big Game 3 tonight. Now, I referred to Game 2 as a must-win. I stand by that, and they lost. I believe the series is over. But if Game 2 on Tuesday was a must-win, Game 3 tonight is a must-win because you can start booking your tee times for the upcoming weekend if they don't win tonight. Like, you're finito, adios, muchachos. It's done. It's over. Go home. Christmas is canceled. Nothing going on if they lose tonight. At least if the Panthers can get a W tonight, we'll have a little bit of a prayer of a chance. Coach Quenneville this morning, he announced that not Bobrovsky, Chris Driedger will be starting tonight. We had suspected yesterday, and I talked with Dave DeWork from Chirping the Cats yesterday, and I think everybody else who covered the Panthers was kind of in agreement that we thought that Coach Q would be going back to Bob tonight because that's kind of the way it goes, even though I definitely thought Driedger was better in Game 2, even in losing, than Bob was in Game 1 in defeat. And, yeah, part of that was Bob gave up 5 goals. Driedger only gave up 2 goals because the third goal was an empty netter. He wasn't in there for that one the other night. So, yeah, I thought if you were to ask me point blank who gives the Panthers the better chance to win tonight, I would say Chris Driedger. Despite that, we all thought that Q would go back to Bob tonight. He's not going back to Bob. And I think he's making the right choice. I think 1,000% Coach Quenneville is making the right choice by sticking with Chris Driedger in net. He gives you the better chance to win. He's been sharper. He's been better. I don't care that he's making less money than Bob. I don't care that Driedger's not going to be a Panther next year because they're not going to keep him in free agency. He's going to go somewhere else. None of that should matter. The only thing that matters is giving yourself the best chance to win tonight. I don't care what fraction of Bob's salary this guy is making. I don't care that he's probably going to be a Seattle Kraken next year. None of that has anything to do with tonight. You need to win this game. Driedger gives you the better shot. And so, yeah, finding out that Driegs is in net this evening makes me feel a little bit better about the Florida Panthers coming back and getting this win and at least making the series interesting for the rest of the way, down 2-1 instead of down 3-0. Now, I'll reiterate what I said yesterday because I'm not flip-flopping on this one. The Tampa Bay Lightning are too good to lose 4 out of the next 5 games to the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers, and I hope they prove me wrong, but the Florida Panthers are not coming back to win this series. They're not taking 4 out of the next 5 against a team that good after dropping both of the first 2 at home. But you need to scratch and claw your way. You need to draw a little blood along the way, metaphorically and literally, because, it's a pretty common thing during a hockey game when the hits start flying in. And you are going to have Sam Bennett back tonight. Should have never been suspended for Game 2. Or actually, let me reiterate that. Him getting suspended, fine. But a couple of Lightning players should have been suspended as well. That was bullshit the way that the NHL did that with us. They've wronged the Panthers twice. They're allowing an ineligible Nikita Kucherov to play in this series, and they are disqualifying Florida Panthers for playing when that treatment should be consistent across the board. Let me address the roundtable question for today. Where is your confidence level for the Panthers tonight? Now, I have to amend this question a little bit because this question was made as if Bobrovsky would start this evening. He's not. Driegs is starting tonight, but the question still applies. Should next season be about Spencer Knight and turning the page on Bobrovsky, making him the most expensive backup in NHL history? I'm not going to knee-jerk that much, guys. Spencer Knight is way too young and way too green for us to expect that next year And he's only 20 years old, by the way, which is really young for a goalie. I mean, you'll see some, defensemen, forwards start playing at 19, 20. For goalies, 20 years old is really young. That's going to be a longer process than next year. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, Chris Drieger is going to be probably a Seattle Kraken next year. He's not going to be a Florida Panther. So, yeah, your two goalies next year are going to be Sergei Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight's going to be the backup, at least to start the season. Sergei Bobrovsky is not, at least not under my projection, going to be the most expensive backup goaltender in NHL history. I think what we're going to start to see over the next couple of years is a passing of the torch to Spencer Knight. But for as shaky as Bob has been these last two seasons, a lot more so last year than this year. This year, he's just been decent. Last year, he was bad, okay? For as shaky as Bob has been at times, I don't have enough confidence to say that he's going to be ready to really hand the torch over to a 20-year-old Spencer Knight to be the starting goalie next year. I think Spencer's going to end up maybe getting 10, 15% of the starts next year unless Bob really struggles. If Bob really struggles, then you have to reshuffle the deck. And you know what? You've got a head coach who is not afraid to make bold moves. Coach Quenneville has stones the size of grapefruits. This guy doesn't care how much money you're making. He doesn't care how much the previous GM signed you for. He's going to start the player that gives him the best chance to win. I just don't believe Chris Drieger, yeah, this is a veteran, but in the case of Spencer Knight, it's hard for me to realistically see him being so impactful next year that you're going to trust him more than you trust Sergei Bobrovsky. But I think we're well on our way within the next couple of years if he's nurtured and coached the right way. And there are a lot of great goaltending minds in that Florida Panthers coaching staff and front office. Don't forget, Roberto Luongo works with the Florida Panthers, and their goaltending coach, Rob Tallis, is a really good one. So this guy's going to get the best possible nurturing for the next step. But no, to answer the question, I don't think Sergei Bobrovsky is going to be in any way, shape, or form considered the backup next year. It's going to suck to lose Drieger, though. Losing Drieger is going to be really, really tough. But with how much you're paying Bob, you just can't justify paying, high starters money to Drieger while you're paying astronomical money to Bob. It's just, unfortunately, it's not fiscally possible. Or maybe you find a way to do what the Tampa Bay Lightning did. Maybe you stash Sergei Bobrovsky like this guy gets a hangnail, and then you stash Bob on the long-term injury report next year, and then you bust him out in the playoffs as the backup. So you re-sign Drieger, you pull a Lightning, and you cheat the salary cap, you circumvent the cap, you put Bobrovsky on the LTIR until you get to the playoffs, and you say, oh my God, he's magically, it's a miracle. Oh, he's healthy again. I praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I can't believe this. Bob is ready to go. But wait, sir, Bob has actually been practicing for the last 4 months the way that Nikita Kucherov was. Well, don't worry about that. He wasn't feeling right. He was getting his legs under him for the past 4 months. Maybe we can pull off some shenanigans like that, like the Tampa Bay Lightning did. We're going to talk Miami Heat, some NBA playoffs when we come back with Ira Winterman from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. You are listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. at OnsideRadio.com. We chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
Game 3 is upon us as the scene shifts from South Florida to the West Coast. The Panthers are in an 0-2 hole after dropping both games 1 and 2 at the BB&T Center this week, and the Cats will have to make a little magic on the road if they're going to claw their way back into this best-of-7 series. The good news for Florida is they get center Sam Bennett back in the lineup. Bennett was suspended for Game 2 after a boarding incident during the series opener that was deemed worthy of more than a penalty or a fine by the NHL's Department of Player Safety. The hope is that Bennett's return will get his recent line mates going again after Jonathan Huberdeau and Owen Tippett were held to a combined 3 shots on goal during Game 2. Another question surrounding the Panthers is which goaltender ends up getting the nod from head coach Joel Quenneville for Game 3. Both Sergei Bobrovsky and Chris Driedger have received a start during the postseason, with neither coming away with a win. One thing you can bet on is that world-class goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky will be in net for Tampa. The puck drops on Game 3 at 6:30 from Amalie Arena.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. It's time to talk Miami Heat with NBA insider Ira Winderman. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report, exclusively at OnsideRadio.com. Let's go over the latest headlines locally with the Miami Heat and league-wide in the NBA with our very own Ira Winderman.
So the Miami Heat start their playoffs on Saturday, 2 p.m. in Milwaukee. The play-ins have been going on, and we're very happy to bring in, as we do every single Thursday, the man, the myth, the legend, Ira Winderman, who joins us for the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report. Good afternoon, Ira. I hope you got some sleep last night because the NBA made us stay up super late to watch that Lakers-Warriors game. And listen, I know it's 2 California teams, but could they not have done like a 9 o'clock or an 8:30 start to maximize the viewership all over the country? I got bags under my eyes today, Ira.
You know, Dono, I was thinking the same thing last night, and I was thinking, obviously they had to get the Grizzlies and Spurs game on, and I understand that. But no one cared. They could have played that at 3 in the afternoon, you know.
Or 3 in the morning.
Like, against, like the single Premier League game on NBCSN or something. Just get it the heck out of the way, because I totally agree. A 9 o'clock start. I mean, that you know what? I might even go this far, Dono, and I know it might sound like a stretch this early. That might prove to be the single most significant game of the entire 2021 NBA playoffs.
Whoa.
And the reason I say that is, one, it impacted both the Warriors and Lakers, 2 marquee franchises. And number two, it was just one game, win or, advance or else go to one more game for the other team.
Right.
So I think with so much at stake there, it's like almost like the NBA served up the ultimate appetizer, and all of a sudden you realize you ate way too much calamari last night and you're not going to enjoy the other games coming up this weekend as much. Because, it was special. It was maybe the two most elite players in the league.
Yeah, and that's a great segue because something I wanted to ask you, and you and I asked you either last week or the week before whether you liked or hated the play-in because a lot of people like LeBron have complained about it, and you told me you really liked it. Now, I'm not saying all the play-in games have been great to this point, but like you said, Lakers-Warriors last night was very important. It ended up being an excellent game, and I think the importance of that one-game scenario only added to that. So have you heard, like Ira, maybe any of the media members and even players who have been critics of the play-in maybe starting to come around? Because last night was really awesome.
I don't think the players like it at all because I don't think they like another level of desperation like that. I don't think they like another game like that of high stakes and travel being added to their schedule. I think the league absolutely adores it. It just gives the NBA great singular focus. It's not like the 4 games where one game is on NBA TV during the first round of the playoffs and you're slogging through best of 7, maybe in a series that no one particularly cares about. So I think it's been a great TV tool. And as we know, Donno, anything that's a great TV tool in sports becomes a great tool for a league to generate revenue.
Yeah.
Personally, and I've said this on some of the other day parts here on Onside Radio, I think they should change it so only the number 8 seed is at play. My feeling is you have 15 teams in each conference. If you finish in the top half of the conference, you go to the playoffs. I would have 9 play 10 like they are right now, and then the winner have to beat number 8 twice. So number 8 holds more value. Number 8 never has to travel like the Golden State Warriors did last night. So it builds in a little more value there, and you only have 6 teams involved instead of the 8 teams. So I think the NBA is always very good at tweaking. Now, that also means one fewer game during the play-in round, but I still think you can create enough drama. And you also then can move ahead with matchups. I mean, think about a team like Phoenix, and they spent the first 3 days of their week off not knowing who they were going to play. So they couldn't game plan for LeBron and Anthony Davis and the Lakers. So they're, by being a number 2 seed, are sort of put a little behind the 8 ball. So you wind up in a situation like that. Or, and so I think the league has to look at a competitive nature also. It's a good thing. It's a fun thing. It might not be the fairest thing, but I think you can tweak it into something even more special.
And yeah, so the Lakers have locked up the 7th seed, and obviously anyone can agree this is not a conventional 7 seed given who's on that team.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they just won the championship. And I did notice today, Ira, I was looking at some Vegas odds, some series odds, and the Lakers, who are the 7, going up against 2-seeded Phoenix. The Lakers are a minus 300 favorite in that series, which is a sizable favorite. I think that's the largest favorite a 7 has been over a 2 since, I think, like the 1970s, I think I was reading.
Yeah, but also one thing to keep in mind, especially with Vegas lines, you get a heavy L.A. input there. So you see it almost in every sport, that the L.A. team is sort of bet down to a degree also. Of course, they have LeBron, and they're defending champs, but it's different. I mean, Donno, how crazy is it? The Suns had a fantastic season, and they wind up with the Lakers. The Utah Jazz have had a fantastic season, and they could wind up with the Warriors and Steph Curry and Draymond Green. So that's the other side of the play, and you don't know who you're playing. You got to wait, and then you get a tough opponent because of this crazy upside-down pandemic season also. I might even go this far. I might even say, and it was funny, I was talking to one of our old friends last night about this, Hank Goldberg, and I was talking to him about I would not be surprised if right now that the first-round series between the Lakers and Suns doesn't ultimately wind up crowning the Western Conference champion. Hank and I were talking about how it's crazy to have 2 good teams this good in the first round of the playoffs, but you know what? I can see that. I can see saying that the winner of Suns-Lakers wins the West and goes to the NBA Finals.
I like it. Ira Winterman joins us here. Ira has been covering the Miami Heat and the NBA for many years for the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. So Ira, Heat Saturday, Game 1 with the Bucks. Now, outside of course, Victor Oladipo being done for the year, how healthy do you think this Heat team is heading into the postseason?
They're going to tell us one thing and we'll see another thing. So yesterday, Eric Spoelstra spoke to us after practice, said everyone but Victor Oladipo practiced. But what did they look like? We don't know. Practice was closed. Eric and the players are going to talk to us again at 4:15 a little later today, so we'll know a little bit more. But you know what? Until you see it, you don't know. Our last vision of Tyler Hero was limping off with a little bit of a foot issue, in Detroit. Where does that stand? We know one thing about back issues. Once they start, old guys like us, Donno, they don't go away.
Yep.
So you have to wonder about Jimmy Butler, 31 going on 32, where he'll stand. But I think the 5 days off put any team in a better spot. Like Eric Spoelstra said on Wednesday, this is why you want to avoid the play-in. You want to have this chance, number one, to game plan, but number two, to finally, after this crazy compacted schedule, take a little bit of an exhale. So I think I'd put it this way. Both these teams will probably be as healthy on Saturday maybe as they've been the entire season.
Now, I know that there are going to be some cocky Heat fans who disagree with me on this because, oh, bro, we beat the Bucks in 5 last year. We shut down Giannis. Ira, this is not a matchup I wanted in the first round. I believe the Bucks are significantly better than they were last year, and Antetokounmpo is going to be even more motivated after the way the Heat knocked them out last year. How do you handicap this series, and how much better do you believe the Bucks are from a year ago in the bubble?
I believe the Bucks are far better because I believe their bench is better and because they added an all-star. I mean, they added Drew Holiday, who's a terrific player. They gave up almost their entire draft in the future to get him. And yet, Dono, all of that said, when I sat down for SunSentinel.com this morning and tomorrow's Sun Sentinel newspaper, I actually went through the matchups, and I gave Drew Holiday, of course, his positional matchup. But at the end of the day, I picked the Heat. And I picked the Heat because I don't know if I trust any individual Bucks player or even Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer.
I'm with you on that.
Best of 7 playoff situation.
Yeah, because Budenholzer, I don't feel like he can adjust with nearly the same level of dynamism that Eric Spoelstra can.
Yeah, and that's what cost Nate McMillan his job after the first round last year against the Heat. Is Nate McMillan was and still is, obviously, with Atlanta, a great regular season coach. Playoffs are different. Playoffs are strategizing. Playoffs are not losing a game and saying we just have to do it better. Eric Spoelstra is really good. He was really good, especially after that first season of the Big Three, even in some of those previous matchups before he had the Big Three, especially his first season against Atlanta in the playoffs, for example. So I almost, when I went through my predictions for the series, there was just a doubt in my mind. Prove it to me. Prove you can get past the Raptors like you didn't 2 years ago when Toronto won the title and you thought it was there for the taking. Prove it to me like last year, and I know Giannis hurt the ankle in the series, but they were sort of getting pushed aside even before Giannis's ankle injury in the East semifinals against the Heat. So I just think when you look at all of that, I think the Bucks have the better team. I think Drew Holiday was spot on when he said the Bucks have the superior talent. I agree with that. And yet I just don't trust them for some reason.
Ira Winterman joins us here on Onside Radio. Ira, we had our roundtable topic yesterday on Onside, and I know you did weigh in on it with Big O, but I want to get in a little bit more detail with you. Now, the question yesterday was, who needs to be the next Heat player to step up after Jimmy and Bam, right? We all know Jimmy and Bam have to be great, and they need to be great for the Heat to win this series. Now, my vote yesterday went to Goran Dragic, and he was tremendous in this series last year. Now, you mentioned, and I read a piece you wrote for the Sentinel as well, you mentioned Trevor Ariza as being a wild card for the Heat. How could you see Trevor Ariza affecting this series?
I think in the Jay Crowder role. As a matter of fact, I think that's the key to the series. Who's going to be this season's Jay Crowder for the Heat? He shot great on three-pointers. He helped build the wall against Giannis Antetokounmpo in last season's series. So they need to get back to someone like that. Dwayne Dedmon's not athletic enough to add his big body in there, or has shown enough three-point shooting. There really aren't a lot of other options, maybe outside of Andre Iguodala for that role. And Andre has played a very limited role this season, so I don't know about that. That's why I pointed toward Trevor. I think more than a great scorer, like I know people like you might have pointed to Goran, I think others can take care of the scoring and the offense on this team, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Bam, whether it's Tyler Hero, whether it's Kendrick Nunn. I don't know if there's another player who I say he can be the Jay Crowder. Now, maybe the series takes on a different life of its own and you don't have the same roles, but until proven otherwise, you saw how absolutely instrumental and fundamental Jay Crowder was to last season's series. So that's why when I look at this season's series, I'm thinking, can Trevor Ariza be the X factor? And here's another interesting factor, Dono. Among the players they wanted to get for the Jay Crowder role was P.J. Tucker, who they lost instead and was dealt instead to the Bucks. So I think if they could have gotten P.J. Tucker or sensed that was available, they might not have made their play for Trevor Ariza. So it's going to be interesting. Trevor on the Heat, P.J. Tucker on the Bucks. Did one get away?
Now, I know you cover, or at least you follow, the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. Ira, as much as I would love to see a storybook ending to this series in favor of the Florida Panthers, and I know plenty of NHL teams have come back from 0-2 playoff deficits, I just think this Tampa Bay Lightning team is too good to lose 4 out of the next 5 to the Panthers. I think the Panthers are done. Do you agree with me, or can you give me some hope?
You know what? It's the same thing I told you at the start of the series, and how, sort of I'm a Panthers fan, I'm a Rangers fan, and oddly as it might sound, I'm a Lightning fan, and I've always been a Lightning fan for their incredible depth of talent and skill, which especially we've seen on their power play. But you see what their third line looks like, and you see what their fourth line looks like, and you realize the Panthers are still a little bit away. That guys like Achari, who you thought could be a difference maker or someone like that, not so much. And then you lose someone like Bennett, and you're moving your centers up one line, and it's not quite the same. The depth of talent for the Tampa Bay Lightning is superior. That's the bottom line. The shame of this season, and this is almost a fluky kind of season like people said the NBA last season or this season, is that you never played outside your division. If these were real playoffs, we'd be seeing the Panthers playing the Penguins or playing the Bruins or playing someone different. It's like you can't get out of the house until you get to the NHL semifinals this year. Everything's in your division. So almost from the moment they made these divisions, and they put the Panthers and they put Carolina and they put Tampa in the same division, you knew that one very, very good team was going to go out in the first round. And, Donno, it shows you how much they really needed to win the division and to wind up with Nashville instead. I think they're just overmatched with wave after wave after wave of talent from the Lightning.
Do you find it as aggravating and as annoying as I do that the NHL has that rule where the playoffs don't count against the salary cap, because that's the reason why they're able to use Nikita Kucherov and why the Lightning are technically, I think something like $17 million over the cap, because they stashed him on that long-term injured reserve. I understand, and I've been complaining about this all week, Ira, just so you know. I understand that the Lightning didn't do anything illegal, that this is an
Correct.
NHL rule, but I do not like the rule, and I'm not even sure how this works in other sports. Do you know is it like that in the NBA? Where
No, it's not. In the NBA, there's specific accounting. If you don't play in the regular season like that, you can't just jump in without being on the salary cap books. But I will say it that I know that if Pat Riley could do it, he would do it. In other words, I think if there's any little twist you can do, you're going to do it. And the Heat have always been very creative with the order that they've signed their free agents, with how they've handled contracts, with maybe not wink, wink, all of a sudden Beno Udre decides, I'm going to take less money and just go way back to Slovenia. Really? For less money? And they've pulled off some little machinations like that also. You know what? You do everything you can. It's no different than Bill Belichick having someone with binoculars in different places until they get caught. It's all part of doing everything you can to win. The Lightning saw what the rules were. They saw loopholes in the rules that were allowed, and they drove a bus right through them. That's what creative front offices do. I would think going forward the NHL will close that loophole because of it, but it was there, and they took advantage.
Real quick before I let you run, because you made me really happy as a Heat fan, when you mentioned that that you go through the matchups and you're picking the Heat. How do you think it happens? How many games does this series go?
I said 6 just for the reason I'm not sure I could count on this Heat team to win a Game 7 on the road, because they haven't played on the road in the playoffs in more than, in 2 years. It's really interesting, Donno. There's not been a home playoff game at American Airlines Arena since 2018 when the Heat went out in the first round against the Sixers. They didn't make the playoffs in 19, and, of course, all the games last season were in the bubble in Disney. So I just think if I'm picking the Heat, I really can't pick them in a Game 7 on the road. So I just think they take one of the first 2, and I don't think there's going to be any team more impacted by doubts than the Bucks if they lose one of the first 2 at home to the Heat. It's almost like the first 2 were must-win for Milwaukee. I think we'll have a real good sense of this series by the time we're done with Monday's Game 2.
So well said. As always, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Check out his work in the South Florida Sun Sentinel. This has been the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report with Ira Winderman. Ira, thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Game 1.
And thank you for sneaking me onto your salary cap. Thanks, Donna.
He was our Kucherov today. We snuck him in. Oh, man, Ira is always fantastic. 844-416-8123 is how you get us on the station text line. That's 844-416-8123. We'll talk about that quote-unquote magical moment created by one LeBron James last night in a game that I had to stay up very, very late to watch the ending of, so I'm a little bit bitter, but my anger for that is on the NBA. I don't know why they couldn't start that game at 9 o'clock. We'll continue here in hour number 1, 3 o'clock hour here of Man of the Match. Hey, start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. So download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m., only at OnSideRadio.com.
This has been the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report with Ira Winderman. Visit Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Come experience the oasis that customers deserve and the dealership that earned Dealer Rater's 2020 Consumer Satisfaction Award at Acura of Pembroke Pines. This is how we do it. We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every InterMiami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnSideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
The 25-year-old was reportedly arrested this past week near Vail, where a sheriff's deputy said he saw Camargo's car speeding and changing lanes erratically, which is always really smart. When you're carrying a lot of drugs, you want to speed, you want to swerve, you want to look like you're drunk and high and all that. You want to cause as much attention. You want to bring as much attention to you when you're carrying a load of drugs. That's just a tip for you, thieves out there, you drug dealers, you criminals. Bring all the attention possible to you while you're committing a crime. It's really, really smart.
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnSideRadio.com.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit InterMiamiCF.com/tickets for more information.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Tonight, it is Game 3 of the Panthers Lightning in Tampa. Puck drops at 6:30. Cats need this win as they are down 2-0 in the series. Last night, Trevor Rogers led the Miami Marlins to a 3-1 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Rogers went 7 2/3 innings, and Marlins look to win the series tonight at 7:05. Sandy Alcantara is on the mound for your fish. And then there were 6. Corey Kluber threw the 6th no-hitter of the season, and second in 2 nights. Kluber threw a no-hitter against the Rangers. 3 teams you want to face for a no-hitter: the Mariners, the Indians, and the Rangers. InterMiami CF is in action this Saturday at 6. Pre-game is live from Dangerous Minds Brewing at 5 with Alex Donno and Big O, and Chris Whittingham and Thomas Brogdon and Fernando Fiotti on the call of the game. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up, more of Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnSideRadio.com.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Huge thanks again to Ira for joining us. I got to say that late night play-in game between the Lakers and Warriors, it was as good as advertised, if not better. It was fantastic. Like, fantastic drama with, you know, the one-game situation, the importance of it. I was really rooting hard for Steph and the Warriors, and they started off so good, man. They had that 13-point first-half lead. You knew the Lakers were going to make some runs, and the Warriors would retake the lead. And the drama, came down right to the end of that game. The only thing that I hated about that game, though, coming out of it is the way that the ending played out. All of the plastic LeBron James fanboys. You know who I'm talking about. The people who aren't really basketball fans, they're LeBron James fans. They hang on his every word. And I'll give LeBron some credit, all right? He's done some awesome work for children, charities, that school he opened in Akron. I appreciate the way that he uses his platform to stand up for things like social justice, although he only cares about social justice in his backyard, does not care whatsoever about the terrible things going on in China. He's fully supportive of the oppressive Chinese government, but it's LeBron. He picks his battles very carefully. But what annoys me about last night's game is it gave these LeBron James fanboys fuel to go crazy, to pass around the gifs of him hitting that shot. It's one of the greatest shots ever. You know, that long-distance three-pointer that he made turned out to be the game-winning basket. And listen, tremendous finish, tremendous theater, unbelievably good basketball game. But let me tell you, that was a lucky shot. That was a heave. That was a prayer. And don't tell me how clutch it was. Like, do not use the word clutch in conjunction with that shot by LeBron. That was desperation. The Lakers had mismanaged the shot clock on that possession, and LeBron James had to throw up a prayer of a shot, no pressure whatsoever, because if he missed that shot, who cares? That shot's not supposed to go in. Like, what? And also, there was still, I know the shot clock was winding down, there was still almost a full minute left on the game clock. I think it was 59 seconds when that heave happened to go inside the rim. 59 seconds left, so that the game wasn't over if he didn't hit the shot. And when he took the shot, the score was tied. Okay, so it's not like that was a game-deciding play. Worst case scenario, they could have gone to overtime, okay? So I could understand praising it. Oh, my God, if that was an actual skilled three-pointer, a contested look that he actually had time to plant his feet for, and it was a reasonably difficult shot. You know, the shot that he made was impossible. It was lucky. Like, okay, I'm not saying there's no skill that goes into it whatsoever, because obviously LeBron James has a better chance of making that shot than I do if I was taking it, because, you know, he's actually a skilled basketball player and I'm a schlub. But, man, that was no pressure whatsoever, a desperation heave, an absolute lucky shot. You know what we used to call those on the playground? This, I believe, is Miami lingo. Now, keep in mind, I'm like 11 years older than Alex Aguirre, so I don't know if the kids were still using the same terms when he was on the playground. You ever hear the term CAG? Yeah. That's something the kids were still saying, like your age, right? A CAG, like the shot that LeBron, and any of you, I know that we have people who text us and stream us from all over the country, even from other countries, so I don't know if this is like I think this is like a Miami-specific term. But the shot that LeBron James hit last night was a CAG. It was a lucky shot. Like, he threw up a ridiculous desperation heave as the shot clock expired. I'm sure he couldn't believe it went in the same way I couldn't believe it went in. So, you know, listen, you can worship LeBron James all you want to. I hope you're not following his stances on communist China, because then you're a little bit misguided. You can support LeBron James all you want to, but don't come at me with this nonsense about that being, a great signature, amazing shot, a great moment in LeBron James's career, any of the Lakers on the floor would have had the same chance of making that CAG of a shot that LeBron James did. Oh, I know our guy Lucho Lalo says CAG. Yes, he remembers that. Yeah, we used to say that. Alex, I don't think I ever made a shot growing up that wasn't a CAG. Every single when we used to play like 3-4 days a week when I was in 8th grade. We used to get like a bunch of dudes together after school. We would play full court basketball, and like I every now and then I would hit a shot, but it was always something like that. It was like an ugly contested jumper that I really had no business I couldn't create my own shot. I just catch and shoot. That's all I could do. I was a decent rebounder. Like I was somewhat valuable on defense, but if you expected me to take a shot, the only shots I would ever make were CAGs. Like I never made a shot that wasn't a CAG when I was growing up.
Were you the kid that, like, when you heaved up a shot and it went in, everyone went crazy?
Yes, absolutely. And, like, I thought they just liked me, but they were just like, oh, it's a miracle. It's a miracle this kid's shot went in.
Well, you still played with them. So, like you said, you had use. You got rebounds. You played defense.
Yeah, like I still played. I played hard.
No kid, like, at a young age shoots good. Because it's so, like, they don't have enough strength to shoot from behind the 3-point line. So they got to, like, they got to put everything they have in their arms and body to, like, heave up that shot. So it looks weird. So, like, every time they make it, it seems like a CAG because there's no, like, actual form to it. But, I don't know. Like, for LeBron, like, I get it. This is gonna be like this is gonna be added to his highlight reel when, like, it's all said and done. Like, it's like his career and stuff like that. But, like, Dame Lillard, when he shoots those far away shots, like well behind the 3-point line, he sets up for that. He plans that.
So does Steph.
He plans those shots. You see it, like, in those shots over against the Rockets and over Paul George in the playoffs. They call isolation, and he sets up for that 30-foot shot, 35-foot shot. LeBron, that was just a desperation shot, and it just so happened to go in. Yes, it's LeBron James, but like it could have been. Anthony Davis hit a heave like that, in the bubble last year as well. So it's just right place, right time. Of course, you got to pass the ball to your go-to guy in a desperation time like that. Shot clock winding down. So like And if it wasn't him and someone else heaved up that shot, he's the hero of the night as well. It just so happens that the hero is LeBron James.
Yeah, if he were to take that same shot 40 times, he's not making it again. Like, it's very fortunate. Very lucky.
Right, same form and everything. Because not going back to that same spot, setting up and throwing it and then trying to shoot it. No, I'm talking about doing that 10 times in a row. Really quick pass, throwing it up there. It's going to be hard to make that at least 3 out of 10 times, and not even.
And he plagiarized Rocky. Did you notice he stole a line from Rocky because he had?
What did he say?
And he played it up because, like, he got his eye poked and he was fine.
Did he say "cut me, Mick" or whatever?
No. He said that he could see 3 rims, so he shot for the middle. He shot for the one in the middle because Mickey said that to Rocky, right?
No, it was Paulie who.
That's right.
He said it to Rocky against Drago. Yes. He's like, I see 3 of them out there. Then Paulie's just like, hit the one in the middle. What? Like, that's your corner man against a guy who looks like a Drago. Like, wow, that's great advice. And
honestly, it's for as much as I love the Rocky movies, Uncle Paulie, what a waste of a corner man. Like, you're only allowed, like, I don't know what the rules were back in those days, but you're allowed either 2 or 3 guys in the corner, and, like, what a way to have Uncle Paulie.
It was Duke and then Paulie, and that was it. That's all he had against Drago. Like, your coach and your cut man all in one, like, just like that. And Paulie's just the hype guy, I guess.
And Duke looked really impressed that Paulie actually said something intelligent because Rocky was like, I see 3 of them out there, Duke. I see 3 of them. And then Paulie goes, hit the one in the middle. Then Duke is like, hit the one in the middle.
Yes. Wow, this guy's been training boxers his whole life. Has been around the game, and all of a sudden this bum from Philly just goes, hit the one in the middle. It's like, you're right. That's going to work against Drago.
Is Paulie one of the great freeloaders in film history? Because, like, what did that guy,
secondary character.
Like, what did that guy no, and I love, as a character, he's fantastic. But he's such a freeloader because the only thing in his life he has accomplished is he pawned his sister off on what turned out to be, a very rich heavyweight champ. Like, he didn't even know it at the time. Like, he got lucky. Like, and he disrespected his sister. Like, he was like really mean to her.
He used Rocky as to put the Meat Factory logo on his robe, his boxing robe for the first match of Rocky 1.
He's the greatest freeloader in the history of cinema.
He comes full circle though in the later movies, and Rocky just puts up with him at the end of the day. He just does, everyone pushes him out except for Rocky, just deals with it.
Yeah.
And they end up living together.
He's basically Turtle from Entourage, like decades before, man. 844-416-8123. We'll wrap up the 3 o'clock hour after this here on Onside Radio. Hey, every day at Onside Radio, our hosts sit down at the round table to tackle the most important local or national sports headlines. The round table is podcasted daily, so search Onside Radio on all platforms, subscribe, rate, and review to listen to all kinds of station segments. OnsideRadio.com is the home for South Florida sports.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnsideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. Air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Hey, it's Toast, and no doubt last year hurricane season was one of the craziest we've ever seen. Well, Noah's saying once again, going to be another active season. So you need to call B&T Windows and Doors today and get PGT custom windows and doors installed like I did so that you are fully protected. Listen, there's no better peace of mind than PGT custom windows and doors when you're in the cone of death for a Category 5 storm. Call B&T Windows and Doors today to get set up. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnsideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I hope you guys are getting pumped and staying pumped for May 29th right here at Drive Pink Stadium. Yeah, I'm in Drive Pink Stadium right now. That's where our studios are here on Onside Radio. I'm looking at those pink, black, gray, and white seats. They are calling all of our names for May 29th. That's 9 days away, so that is Saturday, May 29th, when InterMiami are hosting DC United. It's landmark. It's historic. This is something I'm not exaggerating when I say I am going to remember May 29th for the rest of my life. No matter what happens in the game, win, lose, or draw, I am going to remember May 29th for the rest of my life because that is the first time in the history of this stadium it's going to be operating at full capacity. God bless, everyone who got vaccinated, and even if you didn't, enough people have that the powers that be here in the state of Florida and the powers that be in Major League Soccer are allowing us to open the stadium to full capacity starting next Saturday, May 29th. And so that's going to be awesome, man. I mean, it's going to be over 18,000 strong. It's not a big park, but it is a very loud park because I've heard how loud this place gets at about 40% capacity. So when we're at 100, it's going to be tremendous. It's going to be something I will remember for the rest of my life because so many things that happen here. I was in this building. I was very fortunate because I was working on the broadcast because the game was not open to the public. Last season in the first matchup against Orlando City, or at least the first matchup against them in this building when InterMiami got their first victory in franchise history and first home victory in franchise history. I will remember that for the rest of my life, the same way I will remember this full capacity game. And if you guys have a chance to check it out, I did repost it on Twitter. InterMiami have unveiled these new Prime Blue jerseys. It's a special edition kit, and it's for a good cause. This is something that Adidas does. They have these jerseys that are made of recycled ocean materials. I believe that's going to make us better if it rains. I'm not saying I hope it rains, but if it does rain, I think wearing recycled ocean materials will make the team even stronger. So this is made with Adidas Parley Ocean Plastic. The Miami Hurricanes have worn jerseys like this before, so I've heard about these in the past, which is reused plastic waste that was intercepted from beaches and coastal communities before reaching the ocean, according to Adidas. The uniforms will be worn ahead of World Oceans Day on June 8th. I kind of feel like every day should be World Oceans Day. And the jerseys look good. It's like a blue aquamarine type of thing. If you go to my Twitter account at Alex Donno, I retweeted it a little while back, or if you go to the InterMiami CF Twitter account, you'll see what the jerseys look like. They're really neat. Obviously it's not our usual rosa negra colors. There's no, black or pink in it, but I think that these jerseys look sharp. I think the team's going to look really good in them, and it's going to a good cause to raise awareness and money to protect our oceans. Because you think about it, over 70% of this planet is ocean. We should probably be treating the oceans well, right? Because, God forbid the oceans decide to revolt on us. 844-416-8123. 4 o'clock hour coming up. Big news for the Jacksonville Jaguars today. Woo! I will react to that when we come back here. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of InterMiami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for InterMiami.
OnSideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at DangerousMindsBrewing.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. Chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or InterMiami Marketing, LLC. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 4 o'clock hour, Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Oh, I'm Alex Donno, and I'm with you guys for another 2 hours here on OnSideRadio.com. We're going to take you up to Steve D. Steven Daniels is going to have Miami sports music for the fans tonight from 6 to 7 o'clock, and then I'm going to be back in the saddle at 7 o'clock, 7 to 9, alongside James Walker for another episode of Fight Night. So that's going to be really, really good. And spread the word, my friends. If you're at all, even the slightest bit of a combat sports fan, mixed martial arts, boxing, bare-knuckle fighting, because we do a lot of coverage for BYB Extreme, who are doing big things down here in South Florida. Give us a listen, man. If you're a fan at all and you want to spread the word to friends of yours who might be, because this is only going to be our third episode tonight, so that show is really new. It's once a week, so we don't have a whole lot of traction yet, but I think the content has been fantastic so far, and it's going to continue to get better and better and better. So make sure you tune in tonight and every Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. for Fight Night. Later on this hour, we're going to talk some Dolphins and NFL with Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry. Big news this morning. Tim Tebow officially signed his one-year deal to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. He's going to wear the number 85, by the way. You know, he's not wearing his classic number 15. I don't know. I would imagine maybe somebody on the Jaguars already has it. I'm not sure who. I know that Trevor Lawrence is wearing 16. So I'm not sure who's got the number 15 there. But Tebow is going to be wearing the number 85. And not only did we get the news this morning that Tebow has put pen to paper on his one-year deal with the Jags, his jersey's already on sale. NFLshop.com, Fanatics, wherever you go to buy your jerseys, you can already order a Tim Tebow jersey. I don't know if that's really a great long-term investment, because it's really no guarantee he actually makes the 53-man roster. But I understand me telling you that. It's not going to stop the Tebow fans. I like to call them the T-boners. It's not going to stop the T-boners from buying their Tebow jerseys, because whether or not you think he's going to make the team or not, You've probably worshipped this guy since he was at Florida, and you want to commemorate Tim Tebow's return to the National Football League, no matter how brief that might end up being. So that jersey, it's going to be a collector's item. And I don't know, it's one of those things where I kind of wonder, like, even if Tebow doesn't make it past August as a Jaguar, there are going to be, thousands, if not millions, of Tebow Jaguar jerseys printed. In like 10, 15 years, that's going to become like an eclectic resale item, right? Like in 10, 15 years, you're going to see those popping up on eBay. It's like, bro, you remember when Tebow was signed by the Jaguars? And, one of his I got to buy this. I got to commemorate Tebow's time in Jacksonville. So you can already buy your Tebow jerseys. And in all seriousness, let me see if I can find the current results on this, because I put out a Twitter poll a couple of hours before the show. Okay, here it is. And you guys can vote on this, by the way. I'm going to retweet this right now so that you guys, if you haven't seen this, you can vote. So if you go to my Twitter account, this is going to be right on the top of my page because I just retweeted it. I'm at Alex Donno, Donno spelled D-O-N-N-O. And I'm going to ask Alex Aguirre the same question. Which Jacksonville Jaguars jersey will sell better between now and the opening of the season? The time frame is important, okay? Between now and the opening of the season, which Jaguars jersey is going to sell better? What will they sell more of? Trevor Lawrence, number 16, or Tim Tebow, number 85? Surprisingly enough, the votes, 123 votes cast so far, so let's get more votes. Let's get this trending. But out of the 123 who have voted so far, they're actually giving the slight edge to Trevor Lawrence at 54.5% to 45.5%. I see it completely the other way. I think between now and training camp, and these are already on sale now, you can go online right now and buy a Tim Tebow 85 or a Trevor Lawrence 16. You can also buy a Travis Etienne 1. He's wearing the number 1. Those are 3 jerseys of new Jaguar players that have already gone on sale today. It was announced today. They're all for sale. I don't think, no disrespect to Travis Etienne, great player. I don't think he's going to sell as many jerseys as Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he sells as many jerseys as Tebow right now. I'm going to go on record in predicting between now and the end of August, Tim Tebow is going to sell more jerseys than Trevor Lawrence will. Tim Tebow has a cult following, a devoted following, going back to the year 2006 when he arrived at Florida. I mean, and again, any Florida Gator fan, and let's also not forget, he's playing now in Jacksonville. That's his hometown. Yeah, that's Tebow's hometown. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Jacksonville. I've talked to some people from that city, though. It sounds like a dreadful place, but hey, it's Florida. How bad could it be, really? But Tim Tebow has a gigantic following because he's one of the favorite sons of that city. And a lot of Jacksonville people are Florida Gator fans anyway, and even the ones who aren't, for whatever reason, are probably Tim Tebow fans because he's a local. So I'm telling you, man, not only does Tebow have the cult following all over the world, but Tebow also is the favorite son of the city he now plays in. Tell me if you agree or disagree, but I think between now and the end of the preseason, Tim Tebow is going to sell more jerseys than Trevor Lawrence. And that's only for the next, 3.5 months because, Trevor Lawrence is going to have a much bigger impact in the National Football League than Tim Tebow will. So over time, Lawrence is going to sell a lot more jerseys. But I'm telling you, Tebow, between now and the end of training camp, he is going to sell more Jacksonville Jaguar jerseys. More people will be buying 85 than the Trevor Lawrence number 16. Priceless responded to my tweet and said, Tebow without a doubt. He says, I'm still shocked that Tebow has juice like that. Tommy in Hialeah writes, I could give a shit. He said, so now Tebow is gonna try to outdo Gronk. Can't wait till these D linemen get at his ass. That is an excellent response by Tommy. I love that. Oh man. Ray Gruyon writes, I can picture Tebow washing Urban Meyer's, washing his car, cleaning his house, cleaning his toilet as well. You name it. Oh man. Tebow's so polarizing. I make jokes about the guy, but I have a lot of respect for him. What he's doing right now, I know it's not popular, like him coming back and trying to give it the old college try, trying to get back to the NFL at 33 years old. I know it's not popular. He's got a lot of haters and a lot of detractors, but I can understand why this guy has so many fans. I mean, he seems like a great role model. You know, he's a very, very devout and vocal Christian, and I know that Christians feel in this day and age like religion gets frowned upon so much, and that everybody's told to keep it PC and kind of not really talk about what you believe in. So Tim Tebow for being so outspoken, so out in the open, and so proud of his faith, I know gets a lot of the Christian community really embraces him, and why the heck not? I mean, this guy seems like a great role model. He's never gotten any kind of trouble, right? I mean, you never say never, because nobody's perfect. Like you really don't know what sort of skeleton somebody has in their closet until they come out. But I don't have any reason to believe that Tim Tebow is not completely squeaky clean. Like this guy seems to talk the talk and walk the walk. Like he seems to be the total package. Is a great role model, a really, really nice, humble guy who's just he's trying to give another shot at living his dream in the NFL. He and Herb are very tight. So, Herb is probably doing him a favor here. Maybe Tebow's doing Urban a little bit of a favor because, Urban thinks that this might be there might be a way that Tebow can help the team both on the field and in the locker room. And I sometimes I don't get it. And I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, so I really have no, vested interest in being passionate about Tim Tebow. I mean, if I was a Gator fan, you can understand. Like, I listened to our friend Kai Chen Chisholm, who's a big Gator fan. When he hosts Kai's Corner, he gushes about Tebow because he went to Florida. I mean, I try to say nice things about Tebow because he seems like a genuinely really good guy and a really good steward of the Christian faith, and I respect him for that. And I don't know, Alex, why do you think so many people are anti-Tebow? Is they feel like it's some kind of privilege that he's getting this opportunity? Is that what it is?
Well, I feel like that's a part of people have that feeling, that I guess hatred towards him because of he's being very privileged and getting all these opportunities, and people have worked so hard to get to that position or even get to the NFL, and it's extremely hard, it's extremely difficult. And he, without playing all these years, he just gets a walk-in pretty much. And I feel like another part of people just don't like Tebow because it's very easy to hate and not root for the nice guy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very easy to bash and just continue beating the dead horse on Tim Tebow. It's why isn't anything wrong?
Nice guys finish last, right?
Right. Well, I feel like
it's true.
But he's not finishing last, and that's what pissing people off, though.
They want him to finish last.
Exactly. They want to see him fail for no apparent reason, just because he's super nice, and that alone right there attracts hatred, because it's based out of envy and jealousy. So yeah, I feel like that's why. It's just pure, I think just jealousy. And he isn't anything wrong. You really can't blackball him for anything.
No, you can't.
You can't put an X on his forehead for anything. But people like getting the scoop. People like getting the dirty on high celebrities like Michael Jordan with his gambling and betting. Who cares?
That actually makes me like Jordan more.
He pays. He wants to gamble. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing illegal about it. He pays people off. He pays his debts. He can afford it.
That's true.
And he performs on the field. So who cares? So I feel like it's a similar. I'm not saying talent wise. I'm just saying in a situation, they're trying to find the X on his forehead, trying to find the tiniest speck of gossip just to make him look bad, and it's so hard to find that. And it pisses people off.
I can be kind of all over the road with the athletes that I really cape up for, and I realize the number one thing that I look for is authenticity. I like to feel like I'm getting an accurate vibe of who that person really is. And some of the athletes that I love are like the bad boys, right? I'm a huge fan of Nick and Nate Diaz, the MMA fighters, and a lot of people despise them because they curse a lot and they smoke a lot of weed and they're very brash personalities and they're different, but they are so authentic. You are not getting, nothing is manufactured with those guys. And kind of in the opposite way, and I know people may argue this. They may say, no, Donno, Tebow's completely fake. He's only trying to play up the religious thing. I really don't think so. I think that's really who he is. And I think it'd probably be easier for him to conform to more conventional, methods of promoting himself, and he actually stays very strong towards promoting his faith, and I respect that. I'm also a big fan of Mario Chalmers, and I kind of have a soft spot for J.R. Smith because these dudes are lunatics, and Rasheed Wallace I was a big fan of back in the day because I feel like what you see is what you get, right? I'm a fan of, and I don't even really care for his music. I'm not a hip hop guy, but I got to tell you, I kind of like Kanye West because I appreciate the crazy. Like I feel like the guy gives you, as lunatic as he is, he gives you some authenticity. So I like it, man. It's what I look for. Whether you're a brash bad boy or you're like a super, religious, whatever you would call Tim Tebow, I can respect both. I just want you to really show me who you are. I appreciate authenticity in my athletes. That's what I like. That's one of the reasons why I rag on LeBron, because I feel like LeBron just likes to put out an image of whatever you think he should be. I feel that way about A-Rod. I've never been a fan of A-Rod because he's a phony. Like, who is A-Rod? This guy has always been a tremendous baseball player, and I should love A-Rod. He went to the same high school that I went to. Not at the same time. He's a little older than me. But, I am an alumnus of Westminster Christian School. That's where A-Rod graduated from. That's where he played high school baseball. The guy is a freaking legend. I respected his talent, but personality-wise, I never felt like he was giving you the real A-Rod. I feel like A-Rod was a marketing campaign and not a very effective one. So I appreciate the athletes that are authentic and you really know who they are. That's what I like. You know what else I like? Dangerous Minds Brewing Company. Guys, this spot, if you haven't been out there yet in Pompano, it's one of the best kept secrets. I think the secret is out, though. InterMiami CF fans, you can join us for every road game. That includes this Saturday when they take on Chicago on the road. So this Saturday evening, join us as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company. It's at 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. Join Big O and myself. You can enjoy the delicious food and incredible house drafts and giveaways. And I love the two gentlemen who own Dangerous Minds. They are so nice, and they're so into soccer. I really appreciate it. I love talking shop with those guys out there. You can enjoy the delicious food, incredible house drafts, and giveaways. InterMiami CF fans, your new home for every road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano. You can follow them on Twitter, as I do, at Dangerous Minds B, and on Instagram, as we all should, at Dangerous Minds Brewing.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnsideRadio.com.
InterMiami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all InterMiami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the InterMiami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. only on OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnSideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Christian Chase.
Game 2 of the Marlins series versus the Phillies in Philadelphia last night. The Marlins looked to bounce back after a pretty tough loss in Game 1 where the bullpen kind of just fell apart, and they did just that, and they had the guy on the mound to do just that in Trevor Rogers, who obviously going into the season no one really expected to be as elite as he has been, and he went out there and dominated yet again. 7 2/3 innings, 1 earned run, and now he has not only put himself at the front of the Rookie of the Year conversation, he is now putting himself at the front of the NL Cy Young conversation. Another win, his 6th on the year for this young rookie. The Marlins keep playing well after tough losses. They won another close game last night. They look to win the series tonight versus the Phillies before they go to New York to maybe make up some ground in this NL East.
Keep up with the latest on the Miami Marlins by subscribing on most platforms by searching OnSide Radio.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, I missed this on Get Up this morning. I don't think I was watching TV this morning. What the hell was I doing? I think I was sitting in solitude. You know, sometimes if your parents of young children can relate to this, like you've got so much chaos at the house. I love my son to death, my 3-year-old. I didn't really know what love meant until, you know, he was born, and it's just different, the relationship I have with him. He's my best friend. I love the kid to death. But he's also the most hyper 3-year-old I've ever come across. I know I wasn't that hyper when I was a kid. Like, there's no way. I don't know if he got that from his mom. You know, my wife claims she wasn't that hyper when she was a child either. The kid is the Energizer Bunny. He's nonstop, 24 hours a day. So, like, the second, like, I drop him off at daycare this morning, and it's like the second I can get a minute of peace, sometimes you just want to sit in solitude for like an hour, and then an hour turns into 90 minutes. Like I'm not reading anything. I'm not watching anything. It's like I'm meditating. It's like recovery from chasing the kid around. I think that's what I was doing this morning. So I missed this. Charles Barkley was on Get Up on ESPN this morning. This is a quote that should make every Heat fan feel fantastic. I love Barkley, but the guy is a mush. And he's terrible at picking games. He's terrible at picking series winners. Charles Barkley said, quote, "The Milwaukee Bucks are coming out of the East guaranteed." Oh, that is the best thing Chuck could have possibly said. The Milwaukee Bucks are coming out of the East guaranteed. Start booking your tickets for the second round, my friends. We had Ira Winterman on about an hour ago, and Ira even said believe it or not, Ira is picking the Heat to win this series. And I know he covers the Heat. That dude is not biased. Ira is not biased towards the Heat. There have been plenty of occasions. I've been having Ira on shows for years. I've known Ira for a long time. He calls it like he sees it. If Ira didn't think the Heat were winning a series, if Ira doesn't think the Heat are winning a game, he's going to tell you exactly how he feels. And Ira is actually, despite the fact that the Bucks are better from last year, I can't deny it, you can't deny it. They acquired another all-star. Got a better bench than last year, and they've got Drew Holiday. They're a better team than they were last year. And yet still, he's picking the Heat in 6 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Charles Barkley is saying not only will the Bucks win this series coming up, he's picking them to come out of the East. Charles Barkley is the ultimate mush. Whatever Charles says, go to Vegas right now. Go to your local sports book. Well, I guess we can't do that in Florida yet. Sports books are coming. Go to whatever website or your bookie and book it. Book Miami Heat to come out of this series, man. If Charles Barkley says that Milwaukee's winning the East, they're probably not getting out of the first round. Here's some NBA playoff betting lines. I'm going to focus on this Heat series. Miami Heat are underdogs in this series against Milwaukee, which you would suspect, plus 230. So after hearing what Barkley said, you may want to book these odds while you can. The Heat are plus 230, so if you were to bet $100 right now on the Heat to advance past the Bucks, you would win $230 plus your bet on that. Milwaukee favored at minus 275. Now, the line is moving in the Heat's favor, okay? Because the original odds when the series was announced, the Heat were plus 270, so you'd win $270 on a $100 bet, and the Bucks were minus 325. So that has narrowed a little bit. The Heat are starting to get more respect than that. Take a look at some of these other series. The Atlanta Hawks versus the New York Knicks. Hawks are the very slight favorite at minus 120. The Knicks are even odds. Boston Celtics versus the Brooklyn Nets. Ooh, this one, not even worth betting on. It's so lopsided. Brooklyn Nets are minus 1250 favorites. So you'd have to bet $1,250 just to win $100 on the Brooklyn Nets. But hey, if you think the Celtics are going to pull off a miracle, like if you're wondering, hey, maybe Kyrie will disappear, maybe KD will get hurt, and James Harden will, get lost in a strip club somewhere. Like if you think something crazy is going to happen, then maybe you put a hundy on the Celtics and you win $775. Dallas Mavericks against the Clippers. Clippers are a minus 400 favorite. Dallas plus 320. Portland Trailblazers against the Denver Nuggets. That one's really close. Nuggets are favored at minus 135. Portland, the underdog, at plus 115. Here's some more numbers on Heat Bucks. Now, if you think Ira Winterman is really smart, I think he's really smart. Keep in mind, Ira predicted Heat in 6. So what odds can you get on that? If you go with the Heat to win the series 4-2, you get 8-1 odds on that. So a $100 bet would win you $800 if it's that exact outcome. It's not 6 or lower, it's 6 on the nose. If you bet Heat in 6, you get 8-1 odds on that. I think this is disrespect by the sports books. They think the most likely outcome is Bucks in 5. So Bucks 4-1, that's 14-5 odds. Then Bucks 4-2 is 7-2 odds. Bucks 4-3, which would mean a 7-game series, Bucks win 21-5. A Bucks sweep. Wow, they consider a Bucks sweep more likely than any form of Heat victory. A Bucks sweep is 19-4 odds. Heat win the series in 7 is 15-2. Heat in 6 is 8-1, as mentioned. Heat in 5, gentlemen's sweep is 18-1. And bros, if you're a really cocky Heat fan, here is your opportunity. Alex Aguirre, how cocky are you? Do you think the Heat can pull off a sweep in this first-round series? Because if you think so, you get 28-1 odds, so $2,800 on a $100 bet.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I love the Heat, and I think they're gonna. I do think they're gonna win this series in 6 games, but a sweep, no way, no way. The Bucks have improved a lot.
Yeah, they have.
And people like keep mentioning Drew Holiday, which I understand.
Yeah.
But what about PJ Tucker?
Yes, PJ Tucker. Yeah.
They got him too in a trade with the Rockets in the middle of the season.
Would have loved to have had him here.
And he can do so much. He does the little things. He is their Jay Crowder.
Yep.
You know, he shoots the 3, and he defends all the positions, which was Jay Crowder's role last season. And I do agree with Ira that Trevor Ariza can fill that hole that the Heat were missing when Jay Crowder departed to sign with Phoenix. So I think that Trevor Ariza can fill that gap, but PJ Tucker is someone to worry about as well. I do believe that he can cause some problems for the Miami Heat, but the Heat, I feel like, are just more playoff savvy than the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way, especially in a slower paced game in the playoffs.
And I trust Spo so much more than I trust Booty. Budenholzer. I trust Spo so much more. I didn't even mean to call him Booty, but I'm going to go with that. It's going to be his nickname for the rest of this series. Spo versus Booty. All right, when we come back, somebody who's not Booty. This dude is awesome. Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry is going to join us next. We'll talk a little Dolphins, a little National Football League with Alf when we return. Hey, every Monday, Heat and NBA fans can catch the best hour of basketball talk, and it really is, when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winterman host Inside the Paint, Pallet Rack City Inside the Paint. Listen to 2 of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. Chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where InterMiami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Tonight is Game 3 of the Panthers Lightning in Tampa. Puck drops at 6:30. Cats need this win as they are down 2-0 in their series. Last night, Trevor Rogers led the Miami Marlins to a 3-1 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Rogers went 7 2/3 innings. Marlins look to win their series tonight at 7:05. Sandy Alcantara is on the mound for your Fish. And then there were 6. Corey Kluber threw the 6th no-hitter of the season and second in 2 nights. Kluber threw a no-no against the Rangers. InterMiami CF is in action this Saturday at 6. Pre-game is live from Dangerous Minds Brewing at 5 with Alex Donno and the Big O. Then Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rognan, and Fernando Fiori on the call of the game. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up, it's more of Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnSideRadio.com.
With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back into Man of the Match. We always love to talk Miami Dolphins, little National Football League with our really good pal, Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Good afternoon, Alf. Hey, have you been geeking out like I have the last few days to pictures of Tua looking absolutely jacked and then Tua videos doing footwork drills? Like, man, I just want the season to be here already.
Well, last night I did a podcast that was essentially 55 minutes of trying to dissect a minute and 30 seconds of video. So, yeah, I would say, yeah. He has a beard now, you know.
Yeah, I did notice that as well. I think he's looking great. Like, he looks more muscular. He looks more rugged. So give me.
And he wears a hoodie. He wears a hoodie in 95-degree weather, so that has to count for something.
That's how you know it's a tough guy. Like I basically like I'm practically naked like in 95-degree weather, which nobody wants to see. But I don't wear a hoodie because Tua is clearly tougher than me. So what is not that I want to spend an hour and a half on it per se, but you know what is some of what you got out of that minute and a half video? Is there anything tangible you could say about Tua based on what you've seen?
No, there's not much you can say except there was some video of him working out and rolling out, and he looked like he had some good power. And with something that nobody's really mentioned is, you know, maybe now is when he's over his hip injury and he could get torque on the ball and he could get maximum power on the ball when he throws it. So who knows? Maybe we're finally going to see a healthy Tua Tagovailoa this year.
You know, we heard earlier this week from Myles Gaskin, who he's a really good talker. He believes in himself. He got me a little bit fired up. You know, and it's worth noting that, you know, when he was actually on the field last year, he was really productive. And, you know, obviously a lot of Dolphin fans, myself included, you know, would have liked to have seen them if they were able to. You know, they let Denver sneak up and take Javonte Williams. That was a guy I really liked. I wouldn't have been opposed to Najee Harris in the first round either. Instead, they don't get a guy till, you know, Jared Dokes in the 7th round. But what's your outlook this coming year on Myles Gaskin? Because it is worth noting that when that dude was on the field, he was really productive.
He was, but he also has to stay healthy. And I understand that he missed a game due to COVID, and I believe another game he missed it due to his shoulder. So I'm not sure. I had to go over my notes from last year. But yeah, he just has to stay healthy. And not only does he have to stay healthy, but his counting stats were good, but I would like to see a little bit better numbers. And what I mean by that is I would like to see some more broken tackles, some more yards after broken tackles. and some more yak in the passing game, because he's definitely going to have a lot of opportunities. Because the way they built the team, most teams are going to have to focus on the outside.
Is there any chance the Dolphins still add a veteran at that position? Because I did see about a week ago, Ian Rappaport said that the Dolphins did put in a waiver claim on Kerryon Johnson, who didn't fall to them. But doesn't that kind of show you that they're still a little active at running back?
I would say so. They're doing a lot of reasoning right now, and Brian Flores, like a week ago, was saying that all the speed that they have on the outside with Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle, that this is going to help the running game. It's going to open up lanes for the running backs to get a lot of production. I think most of that is just, not to call it window dressing, but I think they're doubling back on what was probably a mistake, because I do believe that they tried to get back into the bottom half of the first round, and the evidence seems to be that they kind of value two running backs and nobody else, and they probably missed out on both of those guys when they went 24 and 25.
Yeah, well said. We're joined here by Alfredo Arteaga, who does an awesome job on 3 yards per carry on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. What's your projection or your expectation for what kind of a rookie year Jalen Phillips is going to have? Because I notice he's getting some love on some betting sites, with pretty decent odds for Defensive Rookie of the Year, which tells me they're expecting a lot of sacks from him this year. What are you expecting from Phillips?
Well, I'm expecting plenty. He was on a list of about 3 guys that I said, and that was one of the reasons I didn't advocate for an edge rusher at 18, was because there were so few guys that I thought would contribute to the defense right away, as far as like big snap counts. He was one of them. Now, he dropped to 18, so obviously you had to take him because he's a guy who's going to play a lot of snaps. So expectations are high. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to rush wide 9, especially from the blind side. So, yeah, I would expect a decent snap count and a decent sack total for Jalen Phillips this year.
Going back to the offensive side of the football, something else that Gaskin touched on when he spoke to the media this week was, about how different the playbook is going to look. Of course, even though they promoted from within, we have, new co-offensive coordinators this year with Eric Studesville and George Godsey, and it sounds to me like they're making a lot of changes from what Old Man Chan was doing last year. And so kind of like to you, Alf, how and I would assume the new playbook is going to be even more tailored to Tua Tagovailoa. So what would you kind of envision as to a little bit of what like an ideal Tua playbook would look like? What would you like to see more of next year to really maximize what Tua brings to the table?
Well, the NFL high last year for RPO was, I believe, 15% of the snaps for the Baltimore Ravens. That's Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
So at Alabama, Tua was running somewhere around 18 to 20% of the snaps for RPO. Dolphins last year, there were games where they had 60 offensive snaps and they called 4 RPO plays.
Jeez.
Okay. Now that's a really low percentage number. So I would say you would see that number juiced a little bit toward 20%, maybe not fully 20%, but somewhere around 15%. And another thing that I would look forward to is now with Jalen Waddle and Will Fuller, you could start to see what Trent Dilfer called when he called Tua Tagovailoa coming out. He called him the best forward quarterback he had ever coached. Well, now he has the weapons to do those things. So I would expect a wide open offense and an offense that's going to put pressure, especially deep.
I like it. Elsewhere in the NFL, big news this morning with Tim Tebow officially signing his deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it took all of like 3 minutes after he signed his contract. They're already selling Tebow jerseys. He's going to wear the number 85. Now, I put this out on Twitter, and even though I put out a poll, and even though most people are, the slight majority anyway, are voting the other way, I asked the question, and the timestamp is important here, between now and the first regular season game, right? Because assuming once the regular season starts, Tebow might not even actually be on the team. But between now and the start of the season, who do you think will sell more Jaguars jerseys? Do you think more people will be buying number 16 Trevor Lawrence or number 85 Tim Tebow? Because I honestly think between now and September, they're going to sell more Tebows.
Well, you know what? how loyal is the Clemson fan base? You know?
Oh, that's a good question because I know the Tebow fans are loyal, but Clemson's pretty loyal too. Yeah.
Because last year, Tua Tagovailoa held the top spot for like 4 weeks, and he ended up 4th overall in jersey sales. And I would venture to guess that maybe 30% of those jersey sales were not Dolphin fans. They were probably Alabama fans buying number 1 Tua Tagovailoa jerseys. So how loyal and how good is that Clemson fan base as far as their buying power? Because maybe they could move them up there to the top 5. But, yeah, the Tebow jersey is going to be a big thing. And if you follow all the conspiracy theories, he has to play 4 games to be completely vested for a pension and for his health care for the NFL. So I would venture to guess he probably gets cut week 5.
What? I didn't even know about that. Wow, dude, I guess I've been too deep down the crypto rabbit holes the last couple days with the big dip and everything. I haven't been focusing enough on the Tebow conspiracies. That's a really good one. And honestly, like, do you think there's a reasonable chance that Tebow can actually be a serviceable tight end in the NFL? How do you look at this whole thing?
When he came out of Florida, I thought that's where he was going to be. I thought he was going to be a pretty decent H-back. And I even told I had a couple of friends that were asking me, like, you really think that this guy's going to be a serviceable NFL player? And I thought he was going to be Dallas Clark. You remember Dallas Clark for the Indianapolis Colts?
Yep.
I thought he was going to be something similar to that, a guy that could catch 70, 80 balls, maybe 800 yards worth, maybe 8 touchdowns. You know, that's a near Pro Bowl tight end. So I thought he could be that guy. That time is probably past. I don't know, how old is he?
33.
Isn't he like 33? You know, 33 is not hopeless, but you got to think that it's a long shot that he's going to do anything of it. Can he be decent as a 3rd or 4th tight end? Probably. But he's going to have to play special teams for that. Right. And I don't know if he can do that either.
That's a great point. This guy does great work. You should be following him on Twitter and listening to him on 3 Yards Per Carry on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Alfredo Arteaga on Twitter. He's Alf_Arteaga. Thank you so much for taking the time, man, and enjoy your weekend coming up.
Thank you for having me, Donno.
Awesome stuff there. Awesome stuff. 844-416-8123 is how you get at us on the text line. That's 844-416-8123. Coming up next, I think only in Florida would you see road rage like this, man. This is a story for the ages. Hey, Onside Radio understands gaming is a big part of the sports landscape. That's why every day we keep you updated with some of the latest gaming news with Onside Radio's E-Minute, hosted by Toast, Kai, and Michael Christian. If you miss it, it's podcasted daily. Search OnsideRadio.com on all platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review. Onside Radio, the station gamers call home.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Hey, Big O, what's going on? Listen, I just was telling your guy that answered the phone, Alex, it's just a pleasure, man, to get out of work and get in your car and be able to put on the radio and hear South Florida sports and not have to listen to some bull crap about another team from another state that you can give to a rat's ass about and sit there and have to go through all this other bull crap talk to, again, never hear them talk about your team once or twice in 20 hours. It's just an honor, and I wanted to thank you, man, for starting this thing up, man. It's balls to the walls. I love it.
Onside Zone with a big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and ginger?
I can't hear you.
Captain and ginger!
He was a captain and ginger, captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Yoga.
Yeah, welcome back in here to Man of the Match on Onside Radio. This is wild. Like, I've heard of some ridiculous road rage, and big shout out to Marla. Marla sent me this story this morning. Like, she thought, hey, this is something that could be perfect for your show. I love stories like this. You know, you ever, like Alex, sometimes you're driving, like, on these Miami streets, you're driving on the Palmetto, some lunatic cuts you off, some crazy person, and it's like a part of you wants to just drop your hand on the horn and just honk your ass off, flip them off. But you got to watch out for crazy, right? Because on these Florida streets, and it's not just Miami, because this story actually happened in the Tampa area. But on these Florida streets, you don't know what kind of bozo you might be dealing with, right? Like if you flip off or hold down the horn on the wrong person, there could be a certified crazy person, a certified psychopath with a gun in the other car. And that happened. A Florida man is behind bars after police say he opened fire on another vehicle after a road rage incident that started, wait for it, when the victim allegedly threw a piece of a banana at the gunman's car. What? NBC affiliate WFLA TV reports the incident took place Tuesday morning in Pinellas Park when Robert Lewis was driving and began arguing with another driver identified as Peter Sala Jr. Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies say Sala Jr. threw what was believed to be a portion of a banana at Lewis's pickup truck, which caused Lewis to use his handgun and shoot at Sala Jr.'s truck. The gunshot caused the right front passenger window to shatter, sending a piece of glass into the leg of Sala Jr. He's expected to be okay. Lewis was arrested and charged with shooting a deadly missile into an occupied vehicle and criminal mischief, and he's being held on $12,000 bond. Now, I would never advocate throwing a piece of a banana at someone else's car. That seems like an incredibly immature thing to do. However, the person who does that does not deserve to be shot at. We can all agree with that. Like a really childish, ridiculous way to try and escalate an argument is throwing a freaking banana peel at another human being's car on the road. But that's bad. Taking out your gun and shooting at that person it's a million times worse. And it's like, what goes through the mind of the gunman? Like, this is why, like, listen, I am all for the Second Amendment. I believe in it. But I also believe that some people probably shouldn't be allowed to carry guns. And I think any human being who is going to think that person threw a banana at my vehicle, so now the appropriate response would be to try and murder that person, I have a hard time comprehending that. I have a hard time comprehending how point A is a banana getting thrown at your truck, and then point B is I will now try to kill this person. It does not compute. I don't understand. Like, there's not a piece of fruit you can throw back at them. That would be the appropriate response. They throw a banana at your car. I've got a mango right here, and I'm aiming for your passenger door. That would be the appropriate response there. Not to take out a gun and shoot them. Like, oh, my God. A normal human being, and there aren't enough normal human beings. A normal human being, when you purchase a handgun, your goal would be, I pray to God I never have to use this thing. Why did I buy it? I bought it for protection. I bought it to keep my family safe because, hell, Somebody breaks into your home, you don't know if they have a gun. If they do, you better have one. Or if they don't, still, you better have one to defend your home. So I'm not going to say never use it, because I've been out to shooting ranges, and it's good to to learn how to use it properly and be able to aim, and operate your weapon, clean your weapon, load it, all that good stuff. So that is important. But as far as like an actual live bullet situation, upon buying a gun, a normal human being would hope I never have to actually use this outside of a gun range. Clearly, this lunatic in his car thought, oh, you throw a piece of fruit at me, I'll show you. I mean, come on. Only in Florida. Only in Florida, my friends. This is crazy. Brooklyn Rob writes in, Robert Saleh's nephew. I think it's spelled differently. The coach of the Jets has an H at the end of his name. Like Salah. This guy is just S-A-L-A, the gunman. Oh, man. Throw a banana at me, I'll throw bullets from a banana clip at you. That's the logic of a madman. Yeah, a complete madman. I mean, and honestly, it's a miracle that guy has never, shot at other people for random things. If that's all it takes to set him over the top is, oh, my God, you threw a banana at my car, now I'm going to shoot at you? I'm surprised this guy hasn't killed before. It's crazy. Thank God the person who got shot at was not actually hit by any bullets. Like some of the glass from his car, shattered on his leg, but he was not actually injured by the gunfire, which is a blessing, because that person should not be, allowed free in society. Huge thanks again to Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry for joining us. By the way, the interview, if you missed it, is already available on our podcast page. I just retweeted it. You can go to Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and that's a hot tip, by the way, because, there are so many different ways to listen to and watch our shows here on Onside Radio, not only live, right? You can watch us on YouTube like so many people are, and we appreciate everyone in the YouTube chat. And by the way, if you stream us live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, because first of all, it makes us feel appreciated, which is great. And more importantly, when you hit the like button, it finesses the algorithm. You hit the like button, and this video gets recommended to more and more people. For an example, everyone knows on these shows, we talk a lot of Dolphins, we talk a lot of Heat basketball, we talk a lot of Hurricanes, we talk a lot of InterMiami, Panthers, all that good stuff. And let's say, somebody's really active on YouTube and they watch a lot of different South Florida sports content. All of a sudden, the more people who like Onside Radio videos, it's going to become a recommendation for people who are really into Dolphin stuff, Miami stuff, all that. So, you help spread the word of Onside Radio to everybody around the world. It really is a beautiful, beautiful thing, my friends. 5 o'clock hour coming up here on Onside Radio. Hey, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. So listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woo-hoo. Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodyOsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Os family. Dr. Moody-Os is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyOsDental.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey, it's Toast. Last year when I had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house by B&T Windows and Doors, I knew about the hurricane protection. What I didn't know? The silence. Oh my goodness, my house is so quiet now. One of those cars goes tearing down the street with the crazy loud muffler. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. It's unbelievable. I didn't realize how noisy my house was beforehand. You've got to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your pad today. Call B&T Windows and Doors, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of InterMiami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or InterMiami Marketing, LLC. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 5 o'clock hour, Man of the Match, taking you up until 6 o'clock. Stephen D is going to take over 6 until 7 with the Miami Sports Music for the Fans show. By the way, going to have a bit of audio to play a little bit later on in this 5 o'clock hour. You know, you guys know that Dolphin fans all over the world, we unite. In fact, Alex, maybe we can use this here in a couple minutes if you can pull it up since I'm bringing it up here. Steven yesterday was joined by John Rex, who's the president of the Orlando Miami Dolphins fan club. And one thing that Steve and the folks on Miami Sports Music do such a good job of is, and the show is, you know, it's all about the fans, connecting Dolphin fans all over the world. You know, I happen to be South Florida born and raised, and so I'm in the Dolphins bubble, but I'm always amazed and humbled by the amount of Dolphins fans I correspond with from not only all over America, but all over planet Earth. Like one of our good friends on this show who listens to us, this station and this show, Andy from Scotland, you know, as his moniker would imply, he's over, you know, in the UK. He's a massive Dolphins fan. So I know Dolphins fans from the UK. I know a Dolphins fan from Australia. You know, I know Dolphins fans from Connecticut, from New Jersey, California. You know, there's so many amazing Dolphins fans over the world, and we like to unite as a family. And when you hear about a member of our Dolphins family, you know, suffering, as any parent, hell, even if you're not a parent, you would understand how difficult this would be. So this John Rex, who's the president of the Orlando fan club, his daughters, and they're likely, you know, wherever they are, they're likely in possession of their mother, but they're off the grid. His daughters have been missing for over a year, and as a parent, I can't even comprehend what sort of anxiety and pain that would bring into my life. So I wanted to play this, and I did tweet something out earlier. I'm going to retweet it because I would like you guys to not only share it to your followers, but to take a really good look at it, because you never know. Like you may know something, you may have seen these people, and you had no idea that these little girls are missing and that their father is wondering, you know, where they are and if they're okay. So I'm retweeting this right now that these two little girls have been missing for the past year, Sky Rex and Hannah Lee, and their father just would love some information. So I retweeted this. If you guys can take a look at the photos of the two girls and the woman who's likely responsible for their disappearance. If you've seen these people, if you think you recognize them, contact authorities immediately. And so here is a little clip from Miami Sports Music for the fans last night of Stephen D talking about this situation.
Yeah, man. Today's day 428 that my daughters have been kidnapped. We believe, or I say we, law enforcement, I believe that she's still in the Washington, D.C., Maryland area. PG County, that's where a lot of her support system is, family and friends. But yeah, I got awarded custody of my children, full custody of my children last March. And the day that the judge signed custody order was the day that my kids went missing. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, like you mentioned Mark Angelo's name earlier. Mark Angelo's cover profile page on his Facebook is daughter's missing children's poster that you just had on the screen. The support from other Dolphins fans has been awesome, and very, very much needed and appreciated. So thank you for covering that or touching on it. I said I wasn't going to get emotional today, but today's been a rough one, man. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do the show tonight because there's some days that are easier than others to get through. But every day is hard, man. As a parent, I mean, you're a father. As a parent, it's absolutely our worst nightmare come true to have our kids being taken from us. So, just keep, please spread the word on social media. I got to give a shout out to Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel became my favorite Miami Dolphins player last year when he decided to tweet a link to my daughter's story. So he tweeted that last year, and I instantly went out and bought an Andrew Van Ginkel jersey. You want to earn me as a fan, a lifelong fan? You just got it, So, that's what I ask everybody to do is just please share as much as possible. Twitter, it's all over the place. If you Google Hannah Lee and Sky Rex, my daughter's names, you'll find dozens of stories on them. And, just spread word. I'll never forget the statistics that they gave me when the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children first called me. They said 98% of all missing children are found. 1 in 6 through social media. I got 2. So hopefully my chances are a little bit better.
Man, that's powerful. And listen, if something ever happened like that with my son, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would feel. I just know that the hurt and the anguish would be impossible for me to even comprehend at this time. So that was powerful listening to that, and I wanted to play that, and I did share. So again, if you guys look at my Twitter, I did share the missing persons poster. You can see a picture of Rex's lovely daughters, Sky Rex and Hannah Lee, who were kidnapped, like he said, and it's been over a year. And what he said was amazing, that a good percentage of these cases are actually solved through social media. That's one of the great things about social media. I know people love to whine and bitch and moan, like, oh, everyone's being mean to me on Twitter. I can't take it. I don't have a thick enough skin for this. I'm dishing it out, but I can't take it. Listen, social media can be an awful place sometimes, and, it can be, ripe with bullying and all that stuff. But social media is also, I think sometimes we underestimate how amazing it is for bringing the world together. It makes the world smaller. I mean, every day I correspond with people from other continents. Every single day I correspond with people in Italy, with people in Indonesia, with people in Australia. And in this case, these little girls are likely in the United States. They're likely in the Washington, D.C. area, like he said. And if spreading the word on social media can make it more likely that these girls get found and that their kidnapper, gets found and prosecuted to the full extent of the law, then we can really help our brother out and do a really great thing. So please, guys, spread the word, because as a parent, if my child was missing, if my child was kidnapped, I would be like John is. I'd be shouting it from a mountaintop, and I I would want not 50 retweets, not 100 retweets. I would want 1 million retweets, and I would want everybody in the country looking for them, looking for my child, and not resting until they are found. So God bless, because this is, unfortunately these little girls have been used as, pawns here, and this is terrible, and they have a right to see their father. He has a right to see them. So I hope that this situation gets put to rest and resolved quickly. And if you know anything, if you've seen these girls and you didn't realize that they'd been kidnapped and you know anything, contact authorities immediately. And I'm saying this triple because it's likely they're not in this area. It's likely they're in the Washington, D.C. area. So if you know anybody up there, and maybe there's some people listening from there, please spread the word and help these little girls get found. You can also text us here on the station at 844-416-8123 is how you get in. That's 844-416-8123 here on Onside Radio. And yeah, that clip you heard was from For the Fans. So we're going to hear from Stephen Daniels a little bit later on. He's going to join us for a little bit of crossover, my friends. 844-416-8123. I like this. Miami football getting a little bit of love nationally. So Bleacher Report ranked the best college football teams of all time. It was FanDuel who ranked the greatest college football teams of all time. And they started with the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, number one college football team of all time. And it's hard to dispute that. Like, it really is hard to dispute that. I've seen people try and throw in a couple of the recent Alabama Crimson Tide teams. I've seen people give love to like the 2005 USC Trojans, but no, the 01 Miami Hurricanes, the most talented college football team I have seen in my entire life. They write, nearly everywhere you looked, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes had a future NFL star. That talent showed itself in a legendary way. I know this, our friend Art Kehoe once said, and what a great dude Art Kehoe is. I will put that 2001 team against anybody. No one can argue how good, how dominant that team was. And remember, Kehoe was with Miami either as a player, graduate assistant, or assistant coach from, I think, 1979, I want to say. Like, he got there with Schnellenberger and played at Miami. And then as a grad assistant and assistant coach, he was there through, like, first it was like 2005 before Larry Coker let him go, when Coker got desperate and fired a bunch of assistant coaches, including Don Solinger, who's another amazing human being and an amazing coach. Coker really, really screwed up, because I think that was after Miami got blown out by LSU in the Peach Bowl, and then Larry Coker basically said, it's either my ass or theirs. Like, I can buy some time by showing the athletic department, hey, don't fire me. I'm going to fire a bunch of my assistant coaches who probably do a better job than I do, so I can buy myself a little bit more time and save my job. It was a desperate, cowardly move by Coker. Kehoe should have not been fired that year. Solinger especially should have not been fired. There were a couple of other coaches fired after that season as well, so Coker could try and save his ass. But I'm getting off on a tangent here because I'm very passionate about that. I didn't like when Coker did that whatsoever. And it's not to say that I hated Larry Coker. I liked Coker. When he was appointed to head coach, I think that was the right move at that right time. Butch Davis left Miami high and dry, waited a very long time to decide he was leaving, left at a very awkward time, put Miami in a really bad position. That team transitioning from 2000, when they should have won a national championship, but the BCS screwed them over. That team from 2000 heading into 2001, you knew this team is primed to win a championship. The worst thing you could have done, and Donna Shalala was in charge at that time, and I think Paul D was the athletic director, and they, at the end of the day, they realized the worst thing they could have done was bring in an outsider who was going to try and reinvent the playbook and reinvent the wheel and could set that team back, right? They were rumored to be interested in Barry Alvarez. I'm glad they didn't bring that overrated dope down here. They were rumored even to be interested in prying Dave Wanstead away from the Dolphins to coach the Hurricanes. I don't know how far those discussions actually got, but that was something that they were reportedly talking about. And then I remember that offseason because the players who were on that 2000 team who knew next year we're going to win. We just need somebody who's not going to screw it up. Okay? So the players went into that offseason. They stormed the athletic department offices. They told Paul D, they probably stormed Shalala's office as well, and said, you have to appoint Larry Coker because we know this guy is not going to screw things up. We know we can work with this guy. We know that he's going to be good enough to keep this ship afloat. And so, yeah, I thought in that situation, Coker was the perfect coach because he wasn't going to tinker too much. He wasn't going to reinvent the wheel. And the 2001 team, it was just so ripe with talent. And, yeah, listen, even though Butch didn't coach that team to a title, you give Butch a lot of credit because he was, at that time especially, an incredible recruiter. He found a way, coming out of, sanctions and everything, scholarship limits. He found a way to really sell that program to the best athletes and the best local athletes, and he made do with limited scholarships. He got Santana Moss in on a track scholarship. One of the most dynamic football players in the country wasn't even on a football scholarship because they found a way to finesse that system, and it was great. Now, Larry Coker was probably kept on a little bit too long, because once the magic of the 2001 team wore off and they got completely hosed in 2002 by Terry Porter, they should have had 2 straight championships. And then after that, unfortunately, over time we realized Larry Coker is he's not big enough for Miami, at least for what Miami was at that time. So he probably stayed on a couple of years too long. But for that 2001 team, he was the perfect guy for that job, because if they had brought in, an Alvarez or a Wanstedt or whoever else they were looking at, they would have probably over-tinkered and they might have screwed the whole thing up. But continuing that story, they write, Art Kehoe should know, too, he served as an assistant coach for all 5 national championship-winning Miami teams. The Canes allowed just 99.8 points per game and defeated 5 top 15 opponents by a combined score of 236 to 72 in that 01 year. You remember in that 01 year, in back-to-back weeks, they beat Syracuse 59-0. They were ranked, and they beat Washington 65-7. And Washington was the team that had spoiled Miami's party the year prior to that. That was the only loss they had in 2000, and that was the loss ultimately the BCS penalized Miami for, even though Florida State had 1 loss, and their 1 loss was to Miami. They still gave Florida State the nod for the title game and not Miami the year prior. Quarterback Ken Dorsey won the Maxwell Award. Running back Clinton Portis had 1,200 yards on the ground. And offensive tackle Bryant McKinney, oh, what a stud. He earned the Outland Trophy. On the other side of the ball, defensive back Ed Reed, greatest of all time in my book, grabbed 9 interceptions and secured unanimous All-American honors, helping to round out the best team in college football history. You think about Ed Reed's 9 interceptions. At that time, 2001, they only played 11 regular season games and then the championship game. So it was a shorter season than what we got used to, because now they play 12 regular season games, and if you get to the conference championship, you play in that, and you play a bowl game if you qualify. If you play in the college football playoff, you can play up to 15 games in a season. But back in 2001, Miami played a total of 12 games, and in 12 games, Ed Reed had 9 INTs. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, the one stat I can't remember, I need to look this up. Out of those 9 interceptions, how many of those did he run back to the house? Because that was what was so magical about Ed Reed at Miami, and Sean Taylor had this as well. God rest his soul. But every time Ed Reed got his paws on the football, there was a great chance he was going to take it the other way, was going to reverse field, was going to burn, was going to break tackles, and he was going to score a touchdown. He didn't just make an INT, fall over, get tackled. Every time Ed Reed got his hands on the football, whether it was an interception or a fumble recovery, or the time he just stole the ball out of Matt Walter's hands after he got the interception against Boston College, every time Ed Reed got his hands on the football, that guy was taking it into the other end zone. It was incredible. It was like nothing else, man. It was so fun to watch dynamic players like Reed and then Sean Taylor in that era. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they added, our friend Alan Rubenstein added this on CanesWarning.com. He said, Reed led a Miami defense full of future NFL stars. Linebackers Jonathan Vilma and DJ Williams became future NFL first-round draft picks. Cornerbacks Mike Rumpf and Phillip Buchanan joined Reed in the secondary as 3 future first-round picks. Safety James Lewis was the lone Miami starting DB who was not a first-round pick. Lewis returned an interception for a touchdown in the 37-14 blowout victory over Nebraska. Reed had the most signature play of the season for Miami, the one that I mentioned, leading 12-7 at Boston College. Reed stripped the ball from teammate Matt Walters after an interception and returned it nearly the length of the field for a touchdown in the final minute. The play secured a 19-7 victory for the Miami football team and continued their drive to become one of the most legendary teams in college football history. Miami also survived late against Virginia Tech when Hokies wide receiver Ernest Wilford dropped a 2-point conversion that would have tied the game at 26 late in the fourth quarter. The memories. One of the best years of my life watching that team in 2001. It was so fantastic. 844-416-8123 is how you get in. That's 844-416-8123. You're listening to Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. And by the way, I did hear a few hours ago, for those just tuning in, it was early in my show, I heard from Big O, who had his procedure today, had that polyp removed from his throat. He was doing well. He was on his way home to rest after getting the procedure. So if you guys get a chance, if you get on social media, go to Big O Show on Twitter and wish him a speedy recovery. Yeah, I'm sure he's doing fine. Very routine procedure. He wasn't sweating it. I'm sure he's doing great. But he can't speak for like a week, right? That's part of the recovery. So you got to hope he doesn't get too worked up, because I know how passionate he could be. He's really going to be tested. His patience will be tested this next week. Hey, over the last 30 years, South Florida fans have always been able to count on one radio show that gives you the brutal honesty you need. Orlando Alzagiri and the Onside Zone, daily from noon to 3 p.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I'd love to know if we have any doctors or scientists listening, and maybe someone could tell me if this is possible. Maybe Alex Aguirre knows this. He seems smart. Is it possible that over the last, 8 or 9 months, for someone like me, age 36, that my head could be shrinking? Is that like my forehead? And I ask it because, and you guys can see this on the YouTube stream, and Alex can see this. I really like this hat, this InterMiami hat that I wear. I bought this, 8 or 9 months ago, like early after the season resumed. The MLS is back, so I'm thinking like maybe last like July. I bought this hat, and it used to fit my head perfectly like a glove. And I've not like lent my hat to anyone with an abnormally large head or anything. It's only ever been on my head. Never put it through the washing machine, anything weird like that. It's never been like put through any like really stressful, rigorous situation. And yet, the very same hat that 8 or 9 months ago used to fit my beautiful bald head like a glove is now really awkwardly loose. And it's like, it doesn't look right. It doesn't fit right anymore. I can't think of any reason why this hat would have been stretched out. So the only logical possibility, if there's no reason why my hat would have gotten stretched, I'm wondering if my head is shrinking. Is my brain getting smaller? Like, what the heck is going on? I would love a medical explanation for this. Or maybe someone who is an expert on, like, textiles and fabrics can tell me how this hat might be stretching, even though there's no logical reason that would happen. Because either the hat is stretching or my head is shrinking, or both. I don't know what else could possibly be going on here. So I like some of the discussion that came up when we were talking about the 2001 Canes. Satan Mouse, shout out, is in the YouTube chat. He says, biggest mistake of Butch Davis's life is leaving the U. I don't think Butch would argue that. I mean, if you got him in private, right? I mean, Butch, he's doing his thing at FIU. He actually beat Miami a couple years ago. I like to try and forget about that, but it did happen, which I'm sure was a big thrill for him. But you think about what has been Butch's career since leaving Miami. And the guy he's had 9 lives. Like, he's gotten plenty of very well-paying jobs. I don't feel bad for him, right? And Butch is a good guy. I've interviewed Butch before. I've been around him. I like him. I like the guy a lot. But Satan Mouse is right. If Butch had stayed in Miami, guaranteed he wins the 2001 national championship. I like Coker, but I don't give Coker so much credit to say that wouldn't have also happened if Butch had still been there. Butch stayed at Miami. He would have won a national championship in 01. He might have even won it in 02, because maybe Miami would have been even more dominant under Butch, and you wouldn't have left the game up to overtime and a terrible call. Maybe Miami wins the championship comfortably in 02, and Terry Porter can't screw it all up. Oh, so instead of staying at Miami and winning a title or multiple titles, because hell, I mean, he was such a great recruiter. Butch might have kept a dynasty in place, right? It may not have gradually crumbled the way that it did under Coker and all the jabronis who followed Coker. So yeah, Butch, he leaves Miami, goes to Cleveland. Eventually, what happens to every Cleveland coach happened to him. He got fired, didn't win anything there. North Carolina had a couple of halfway decent teams, didn't win anything, right? He winds up at FIU, and there's a ceiling on FIU. Like, I apologize to the Pause Up alums who are listening, all the FIU fanboys, and he's done some nice work there. But in our lifetime, FIU is not going to be ever in position to win a national championship. So, there's a ceiling on FIU. You can only do so much there when you're outside the Power 5 especially. So, yeah, that's a great point there. Biggest mistake of his life was leaving Miami. Butch Davis could have been what Nick Saban is now if he doesn't leave UM. Possibly, because at the time when he left, it was a machine. Like, recruiting at the U was a turnkey operation. It was such a well-oiled machine. He could have kept that going. Still, I don't know. I can't guarantee it would have been Bama, because what happened over time in college football was it became such a big money sport. Like college football it's different now than it was, 20 years ago, in that you couldn't get away now like you could then with having, barely a weight room, private institution, no on-campus stadium. Miami could still be doing better in spite of those things, but it became so much more about the money. So that's why programs like Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State have really become the only teams that can win anything. LSU, you throw them in that conversation. So it's like you have to be one of these mega powers to even have a chance to win now. I wonder if it still would have evolved away from Miami, even if Butch had stayed. I don't know. Rafa Miami writes, I've wondered how much longer Larry Coker would have stayed if he would have gotten the second national championship that was stolen from him. Bro, that is a rich hypothetical. That is a really, really rich hypothetical there. You would think, that winning the second national title just might have automatically bought him an extra year or two. Because then, how do you fire a two-time national title winning coach? I mean, Coker got fired after the 2006 season, only 5 years removed from a championship. But if he'd won a second championship, Coker might have hung around for a couple more years. I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't know if Coker hanging around longer would have done the program more of a disservice. You know what? Coker hanging around longer might have done better than Randy Shannon did. And then, of course, Al Golden was a complete travesty. Maybe Al Golden never comes here if we had written that alternate history with Coker. So I don't know. Tony Two-Time says about my hat, they probably used crappy elastic. Yeah, you might be right about that. I knew I would offend the FIU alums. Lucho writes in, why are you hating on FIU, Donno? We can imitate UCF and have a fake championship down Calle Ocho. Boom! He writes. FIU did celebrate beating Miami like they won a title. I can't blame them. And I wasn't upset about that. To the victor goes the spoils. I mean, as a Miami backer and a Miami alum, that loss to FIU it might be the most humiliating loss Miami has ever suffered. It really might be. Because you lost to Little Brother in your own backyard. Technically, it was a home game for FIU at Marlins Park, but that's a joke. You're in South Florida. You're in Miami. Losing to FIU was one of the toughest moments of Miami fandom. I've had many humiliating losses in Miami fan. Some of the bowl game losses to Duke, getting shut out by Louisiana Tech in the bowl game a couple of years ago, the same season, I should add. But no, I think the FIU loss probably the most embarrassing loss Miami has suffered, to be completely honest. Tony writes in, the U has been lacking a good quarterback for a while. Butch never would have let Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar leave the backyard for Louisville. Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. Teddy Bridgewater would have probably been a Cane if Coker had been there. Rafa writes, how about the generous donation by Jorge Mas to FIU? Listen, that's great. It's your alma mater. Do it. Listen, if I had a lot of money, like if my Bitcoin hadn't taken that massive dip a couple mornings ago, I would love to make a generous donation to the University of Miami. One time I donated $50 to the U. And actually that turned out to be a huge mistake, Alex. Do you want to know why? This was in like 2007. Because they have you on like a call. Like every alumni is on like a calling list. 2008 probably, because I graduated in 2007, so it was probably at least a year after I graduated. So they put you, and I'm sure every university does this, they put you on a calling list where they hit you up for money. And the worst mistake I ever made was, I guess I felt inspired, and I must have like just gotten a paycheck, so I had like a few bucks in the bank, like literally a few bucks in the bank, because I wasn't making very much in 2008. And I decided, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to donate $50 to my alma mater. You want to know what happens when you donate $50? Absolutely freaking nothing. They don't name a building after you. They don't name a hallway after you. They don't name a toilet after you. You donate $50. You have no idea where it goes. You have no idea what happens to it. Now, if I could make like a $10 million donation and they name a building after me, that sounds freaking fantastic. I donated $50. They couldn't name like a plaque after me. And then here's what happened. After you donate $50 to your alma mater, they start calling you 10 times more often than they did before. We got a live one here, is what they're saying in the back office. This guy donated once, he's going to donate again. So between the years of 2008 to 2018, I was dodging their calls. Every now and then they'd get me on the phone and I'd say, oh, I'm going through a tunnel, get in an elevator, got to go, hang up. They call you back, you don't answer. And like I would save the number in my phone, like do not pick up. And sometimes they would change numbers. Like they learned. It was like Skynet. Like they learned. Like the AI becomes smarter. Like they realize this guy never picks up when we call from this number. Call him from your mobile phone and maybe we'll get him to pick up. So then I had to start like blocking multiple different numbers that I associated with the people who were asking me for money. And then finally, around 2018, they stopped calling me. Like they either lost my number or they realize this guy's broke and he donated in 2018. He's not donating again. And then here's the weird thing. I don't know how this happened. This might be like somebody sold my information to the wrong people, because you know how like Facebook and stuff, they sell your info. Somebody probably sold my information to the wrong person. So 10 years it takes me to finally get off the UM alumni begging for money list. Like it takes me 10 years to get off of that. And then right around the time UM stops calling me, I somehow, and I cannot explain how this could happen, I get put on a Florida State University alumni calling list. I've never set foot in that university, let alone enrolled. Never in my life have I been a student of Florida State University. I've never been to Tallahassee. I've never been to that campus. And somehow they have me on their calling list. And yeah, every now and then to this day, I get a call from a Tallahassee area code, and huge apology. If there's any legitimate person from Tallahassee who tries to call me, if I see that area code, you're finito. I'm not picking up. It's not happening. And sometimes they leave me messages and they're like, oh, Florida State alumni, you know, we'd like to see if you can donate my, like, I lose my number. How did you get it? This is like the worst thing about these social media sites is they sell your info to the wrong person. Somehow now I'm an FSU alum. I've never been to the campus. Never been. RC of the 305 writes, Donno's got a great heart. I mean, I guess. I mean, I donated money one time, and then for 10 years I ghosted them. So I don't know. Is that a good? I don't know what that is. If that's a good heart. I thought maybe they'd name a turnover chain after me or something. I get nothing. I don't get a shingle on the roof. I don't get a blade of grass. When you donate $50, you get no respect. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. Rafa in Miami says, good Lord, Donno, I served you a chance to compliment the boss on a platter. Well, what was that about? Did you who did you? Oh, he says, what about the generous? So that was the Jorge. I gave him a compliment. It's fantastic. I said, if you have a chance to donate money to your alma mater, that's great. I did give him a compliment. That's wonderful. And if Bitcoin I think is around like 40,000 right now. If it goes up to like 1 million, I'm going to donate money to the U. That's what we're going to go for. It's fantastic. Listen, donate to FIU, donate to Miami. It's all great. Talking about Tallahassee, RC in the 305 writes, you mean Trailer Hassy. I couldn't say. I've never been. Oh, man. Miami Sports Music says, we would give you a certificate and a shout-out on a solo song. Oh, I love that. See, if I had donated my money to Miami Sports Music instead of to the University of Miami, I could have actually gotten something out of that. Oh, this is a good point by RC. Miami did that as revenge. When I stopped donating to the U, they got revenge by sending my info to Florida State. Honestly, I would respect that troll. I would really respect that. Oh, man. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. We continue the 5 o'clock hour when we come back. Hey, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Squared Circle Digest. Now wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
When you're tired of watching the sun damage your furniture or raise your electric bill, it's time to do what we did here at OnSideRadio.com studio. Call a Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise. A Shade Above Window Fashions has a great selection of blackout shades to choose from. We can almost create a complete blackout for your bedroom or media room. Call them at 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashion.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
It's actually a very good deed by Jorge Mas to make a generous donation to FIU. I wish we had more alumni like him at Miami. Our guy Mark Rick stepped up big time. I wish we had Jorge Mas's at the U as well. The guy's tremendous. Believes in South Florida sports. Believes in soccer. Believes in promoting the FIU athletic department. It's a great job. Hey, so I'm looking at this piece. Our buddy Kyle Krabs pointed this out in DolphinsWire.com. Kyle, by the way, couldn't join us this week. He's going to be back on with us next week. He had some family stuff to take care of this week, which is perfectly cool in my book. So the NFL.com forecast for the Dolphins includes a playoff run in 2021, according to the NFL.com forecast. And I'm refreshed to see that because a lot of other publications do not forecast that for the Dolphins. So this is what NFL.com writes. The Dolphins will square off with the Jags in London in Week 6 and then face the Falcons at home in Week 7 without taking a bye in between. Meanwhile, the Falcons, who play the Jets in London in Week 5, will get a break in Week 6 before heading to Miami in Week 7. This is more of an interesting note than a predictive factor, however, because the Dolphins have a good roster and could become a great team if they are provided with difference-making quarterback play by Tua Tagovailoa. Plus, having a bye later in the season, Week 14, will be better in the long run for a potential playoff contender, writes Cynthia Freeland from NFL.com. So the full projection for the AFC conference, according to Freeland, is she goes by seed here. So the 1 seed, Kansas City Chiefs. 2 seed, Buffalo Bills. It's looking a lot like last year there. 3 seed, Baltimore Ravens. 4 seed, Indianapolis Colts. 5 seed, Cleveland Browns. 6 seed, Miami Dolphins. 7 seed, Tennessee Titans. Kyle Krabs writes, with the New England Patriots and Los Angeles Chargers just missing the postseason while also being projected to win 9 games on the season, the AFC playoff race will assuredly be tight, as indicated by 2 teams with winning records missing the action according to Freeland's projections. Again, that sounds a lot like last year. But after the Dolphins missed out on the fun last year, one can only hope that the football gods will be more kind with Miami's final fate this time around. Such a forecast would have Miami traveling to play Baltimore in the first round of the playoffs in January, a team that has routinely given the Dolphins fit in recent years, and we're going to play them in the regular season, so we'll learn a lot there. But the matchup in Week 10 on Thursday Night Football will be a great chance for the Dolphins to change the script against Baltimore and prove that the Ravens are no longer head and shoulders ahead of these Dolphins. So how about them apples? Projects the Dolphins to be a playoff team. I like that, and I hope it's true. I hope that she knows what she's doing, man. Oh, man, 844-416-8123 is how you reach us on the text line. That's 844-416-8123. I found a story that's pretty terrifying. So there is a species of ant in Germany that apparently can live forever because of tapeworms that give them life. Like, can we look into this for people? Or is it more of like a zombie thing where you're not really alive? Yeah, I don't want to be a zombie. Like, if they told, because a lot of people, I think, would be very excited about the idea of living forever. But if it's basically just your reanimated corpse walking around, I don't think that's worth it, in my opinion. So deep in the forest, this is a story from The Atlantic. Deep in the forests of Germany, nestled neatly into the hollowed-out shells of acorns, live a smattering of ants who have stumbled upon a fountain of youth. They are born workers, but do not do much work. Their days are spent lollygagging about the nest, where their siblings shower them with gifts of food. They seem to elude the ravages of old age, retaining a durably adolescent physique, their outer shells soft, and their hue distinctively tawny. God, you know what really annoys me? Stories like this that are written with so much fluff. Get to the goddamn point. The Atlantic. Who wants to read this shit? Just get to the point. Their scent, too, they say, seems to shift, wafting out an alluring perfume that endears them to others. While their sisters, who have nearly identical genomes, perish within months of being born, these death-defying insects live on for years and years and years. They are temnorthorax ants, and their elixirs of life are the tapeworm that teem within their bellies, parasites that paradoxically prolong the life of their host at a strange and terrible cost. So it said, yeah, they're zombies, I guess. A new such life-lengthening partnership, a few such, have been documented between microbes and insects such as wasps, beetles, and mosquitoes. But what these ants experience is more extreme than anything that's come before, says Suzanne Foitzig, an entomologist at Johannes Gutenberg University Mainz in Germany, who studies the ants and their tapeworms. Infected temnothorax ants live at least 3 times longer than their siblings, and perhaps much more, she and her colleagues report in a study published today. No one is yet sure when the insect's longevity tops out, but the answer is probably in excess of a decade, approaching or even matching that of ant queens who can survive up to 20 years. So how about that? They get to live longer, but it comes at a cost. Their lives are prolonged by a parasite. Interesting. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. The Raging Dolphins Maniac writes, Donno, any news on Big O's operation? Yeah, no, it was a success. He right after I started the show, I mentioned everyone to wish him well. And he was listening. He texted that he's doing good. He was on his way home. This was around 3:05. He was on his way home to rest. So I'm sure it's been a long day for him because you have to do all the pre-op stuff and everything. And sounds like everything went well. So yeah, I would encourage you, like everyone, to wish him well on social media, to reach out to him any way you can, because one thing I know he loves is support from the listeners, support from the fans, because he's built a pretty amazing community with everybody. So I'm sure he would love to hear from all of you guys. 844-416-8123. We're going to do some crosstalk with our guy Stephen D from Miami Sports Music. He's going to join us next here on Onside Radio. Hey, Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 a.m. to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day, 10 a.m. to noon, for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida Sports Talk, OnsideRadio.com.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for InterMiami football. OnSideRadio.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Join the InterMiami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
All right, here's some good news. I'm going to talk a lot more about this in tomorrow's show because I'm planning to have somebody on to help us break down InterMiami tomorrow. They got the big game in Chicago coming up Saturday. But Michelle Kaufman wrote a piece. This is really good injury news that Nico Figal, Robbie Robinson, and Kelvin Leerdam, who have been absent recently and really missed, are expected to be back for InterMiami on the road game against Chicago on Saturday. So it sounds like we're going to have all hands on deck at that point. That is great news. Because Chicago, they're bad, but you still want to have the most possible players available. Because, Miami got a big win against Cincinnati last week, and you're on the road again in Chicago. Want to get another W, man, and get right in the thick of it in the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. So that is a beautiful thing. What else is beautiful? Our friend Stephen D. Stephen, great show last night, and my heart really goes out to Rex, and we played the audio piece earlier, and I retweeted the poster as and you and I are both parents, and I can't even comprehend what it's like for a man's children to be kidnapped and missing for over a year. So again, I encourage everyone to check out our social media and to do whatever they can. If they know anybody or if they've seen something, contact the authorities because, I mean, Steve, I can't even imagine what that's like, and we want to help Rex find his kids.
Definitely, man. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for replaying that today.
Rex has been a good friend of the Finlaws. That's what we call all Dolphin fans. We're all Finlaws.
I love that.
He's been a Finlaw for many, many years. And, when all this went down a little over a year ago, we definitely tried to rally around him. And it's been a very tough year for him, right? And so the one thing that kind of brings him any sort of joy at the moment is the Dolphins. And I tell people all the time, that's the best thing about sports is It can literally take the worst things out of you and give you something positive to look at or something positive to look into. And that's a great segue because my guest tonight, he created a charity called the Positive Porpoise.
I've heard of that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Danny is my brother from another mother. I love everything about him. He exemplifies exactly what a Dolphin fan should be in life and then just in general. And we're going to have a good time tonight. But, yeah, please share all that information because most times when kids are kidnapped or missing for that long a period of time, the number one thing that gets them found that Rex kind of alluded to was social media, people seeing the social media posts. And so we just need you to share that as often and as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think it's so true, and it's incredible because I know that people love to whine and complain about social media, but we can't forget the positives because it connects people from all over the world, Steven, and obviously for people like you and me who want to connect with a community of sports fans and listeners and everything, social media is a very important tool. And every single day, I talk to people from other continents, and it's crazy how 20 years ago you couldn't do anything like this. It was long distance calling, and who wants to do that? It's unbelievable. And when it comes to something like this, hopefully, helping a man locate his children, it would be incredible if social media is able to help this situation get resolved. So I'm looking forward to the show. Anything else you're going to hit on tonight from 6 to 7?
I always start off with the roundtable question, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that right in the beginning, and then we're going to get right into it. Otherwise, man, I'm always listening to your show from 3 to 6. So for people that are just tuning in to see me, if they haven't heard about you before, I don't know what rock they're living under, but they need to tune into your show from 3 to 6 every day. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I'll say the same thing about your show from 6 to 7. Steven does an awesome job. Thank you so much, man, and have a great show coming up.
Love you, brother. Be good.
Love you too, man. Good stuff there. And, hey, the fans support the teams. They buy the jerseys and tickets, but they never get the love that they deserve on sports radio. OnSideRadio.com changes that with Miami sports music for the fans. It is the show driven by Stephen D., who we just spoke to, representing Miami sports fans around the world. Tune in every night from 6 to 7 as Stephen D. and fans around the world drive the talk about your favorite South Florida sports team. Onside Radio is dedicated to the Miami sports fan.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or InterMiami Marketing, LLC.
No wimpy corporate-led radio station here. You're listening to the only station in South Florida that truly gives you a voice. OnSideRadio.com. Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than the roof above the people you love. At Onside Radio, we recommend Chase Roofing and Contracting. At chaseroofing.com, they care about the customer. Chase Roofing provides reliable roof installation and repair without the destruction to our environment. Chase Roofing is powered by Tamara, who is owner and operated for 18 years. chaseroofing.com is Google top rated and a AAA standing with the Better Business Bureau. Open 24/7. Call them today. Trust chaseroofing.com to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast, and I've been telling you guys all about my buddies over at B&T Windows and Doors. And some of you said, hey, listen, Toast, I'd love to get PGT custom windows and doors installed, but funds are a little tight right now. No problem, bro. Y-Green. You can finance it with B&T Windows and Doors through Y-Green, so you can still get your PGT custom windows and doors installed. And yeah, you're not going to have to put anything down. It's awesome. That's the way I got mine installed. Call B&T Windows and Doors today. They'll tell you all about Y-Green and how to finance your windows. 954-233-0126.